Who is the boldest running back, the deepest running back top 5 that we can cook up? Not talking about Bucky, not talking about Achan. Those are top 5 running backs already. That's not bold. We want to go bold. We want to dig as deep as we can, not get reckless or crazy, but find the deepest, the boldest top 5 running back prediction in 2025. The Fantasy Football Show, the Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, every single Monday through Friday show begins right now. File on in.
The FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show live Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Smitty is also live whenever news breaks.
Live whenever news breaks. We are here to discuss the deepest running back call in the top 5 realm. Who could be that guy? Who could break into the top 5? Now, it's not easy. You got to remember, you got Bijan, you've got freaking Gibbs, and probably Genty. Probably going to have Barkley or someone like that if they stay healthy. You know, Henry, I get it if they stay healthy per start. You know my feeling about Henry and Barkley. There's too much inherent risk, so I'm going with different RBs. But we're going to leave Barkley. We're going to leave Henry. We're going to leave Bucky. We're going to leave, those boys out. Who's, like, for sure ranked outside the top 5 running backs? Well, you know, I think to kick it off, I don't think Kyron's really in anybody's top 5 running backs. Not saying that that's going to be where we land, obviously. But if we start talking about Kyren Williams, some people start saying, I don't think he'll be a top 5 running back this year. So he qualifies. It's just a matter of, is that bold? No, it's not bold at all. Not to Kyren country, not to Harry Kyren or Kyren Potter country. If you don't know what I'm talking about, the man's got a lightning bolt like Harry Potter on the bridge of his nose. So Harry Kyren, a.k.a. Kyren Potter, is bold to us, but he's, or bold to other people, but he's not bold to us. Top 5 is certainly in the cards for this man. I mean, get out of here. Insane to even, debate this. But while we're on the topic, we'll just say that, Kyren Williams and even Chase Brown might be traditionally ranked outside of the top 5, and they clearly have top 5 upside. So these are easy calls. These are layups, but I'd probably say if somebody said, hey, who do you like better? I'd probably lean toward just being a situation where I split them. In one league, I want one. In one league, I want the other. Kyren has had 14 touchdowns and 12 touchdowns rushing in back-to-back seasons. He had 12 rushing touchdowns in 12 games in 2023. Then he comes into last year, 2024, off a 5.0 yard per carry season and has a bunch of 8-man fronts and an injured offense. So Kyren, obviously touchdown machine, getting all the touchdown glory, just got an extension. The security's there. Chase Brown's the new exciting young pup over in Cincy, and they're feeding him like crazy. First series in the preseason game looks exactly the way he finished, which was being a monster. Chase Brown is a magnificent running back, and he's absolutely got top 5 upside. So does Kyren. Both of them do. But let's give both these guys the respect they deserve. They both deserve to be on the same playing field, the same level. They both deserve to be at the table, having a cup of coffee with the top 5 running backs, because either one could be a top 5 running back.
Chase Brown. Oh, yeah. Chase Brown. Touchdown. You hear that sound? It's Chase Brown. Chase Brown, 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 Chase Brown.
Honey, what is that awful sound?
Ma, that's Chase Brown.
Mom, you got my Hot Pocket ready yet? Where are the batteries for my Game Boy?
Chase Brown. Chase Brown.
He's Kyren, he's 7 feet tall, and he knows how to handle a ball. He's Kyren, he can take frowns and turn them upside down with his touchdowns.
Oh, we got Joshua. Thank God Joshua's in here. Joshua, breaking news right now. Joshua said, breaking news, James Cook signed a 4-year deal. Joshua, good Lord. This might need to get you a chair next to me as a co-host. Come on, Joshua. Come on. We were up at 5 a.m. We're up at 5 a.m. with this live stream. What are you talking about, bro? Where you been? Breaking news, Smitty. James Cook. Why are your notifications not on, Joshua? Why are your notifications not on? I was up at 5 a.m. I didn't even slept yet. This is an all-nighter for me. Dropping this thing. You come in dropping this amazing breaking news. Pull up a chair, Joshua. I need you by my side. So these two clear top 5 candidates. This is not even like, if I had to guess, I'd say Kyren scores 14 rushing touchdowns this year, maybe 2 or 3 receiving. Honestly, I think it's going to be a 15-plus touchdown season for Kyren. And then, so that's for the Kyren Potter, or a.k.a. Harry Kyren, with the lightning bolt like Harry Potter on that bridge of that nose. I mean, imagine seeing your child. He's born and he's got this lightning bolt on his nose. You're thinking, this kid's destined for greatness. He's gonna cook.
Let him cook.
Is that what kind of birthmark is that? It's like he's been chosen, chosen to score touchdowns. All right, let's get these boys off the screen. And again, we're not going with the Buckies. We're not going with those are obvious calls. Bucky's a top 5 running back. Achane's a top 5 running back. We're not having that conversation. Everybody knows we're going deep, baby. We're trying to find the deepest top 5 RB we can assemble. This is not that deep. It's certainly within the realm of possibility, but needs to be talked about as we go down the pecking order of players and where they line up. And if we're going to talk about Chase Brown and we're going to talk about Kyren briefly, we got to talk about Hampton, who's going to be right there as well. Hampton's easily got top 5 potential upside. No one's saying that all 3 of those guys on top of all the other, top 5 guys. I mean, you got Achane, Bucky, you got Bijan, you got Gibbs, you got obviously those that believe that Barkley and CMC and Henry are going to be up there. We are running out of top 5 spots, so it is bold. We can't say that all these players we name are going to be top 5. No one's saying that at all. I'm just saying this guy has top 5 potential. He does, and he doesn't walk into a crowded running back room. You got news breaking that suggests that Greg Roman is going to use multiple running backs. Then he's telling everybody that you never use one running back in the NFL anymore. But Greg Roman's saying that for all 32 teams. So if you're panicking on his comments, he's clearly suggesting that Barkley, everybody else is sharing carries. They are. Shipley's going to get more work this year. Algier gets work. Monty gets work. Everybody's going to get work except for in LV. It's going to be all Genty. But no one wants to believe that. Hampton is a top 5 marvel. I would safely nestle him in the 6 to 10 if you said, Smitty, you have to be right on this or you lose your pinky toe. I'm going to say 6 to 10. But this is a guy that can easily climb into the top 5. And if he didn't finish there, if he finished 7 or 8, he'll be trending at times, especially maybe in the week 10 on, maybe week 9 on range, as a top 5 running back that we can extrapolate and say, you take this and stretch it out. We're not using Genty. Genty's already, okay, just to get it out of the way, in case anybody thinks that I don't believe Genty's in this conversation. Of course he is. It's just, to me, I don't look at it like some of the fragile Freddies and freak out Freddies out there and freak out Franks that think that this guy's dropped out of the first round or something. No, Genty's in this conversation. Genty lives up in that area. Genty's not even somebody I'm debating as a bold top 5 running back. Hampton's a little bolder. And why is Hampton bolder? Because all the conversation, out there right now. And by the way, we got 3 super chats. I told you guys I'm going to answer these in order which are received and answer them a lot quicker, even when I'm in a rant mode or doing this kind of stuff. So let me hit these real quickly. We got you go early QB and tight end and a 10-man to get an advantage. I don't think you can plan for that. I think planning for it is a mistake. I think that could it flow the right way? Sure. But to give you that kind of advice ahead of time is like saying on your 5th move on the chessboard, in your 5th move, put the queen right in the middle of the board, bro. Like, I can't tell you that it's a smart move. I would say doing both of them are probably not the best move. Doing both of them is probably not the best move at the same time. I think if you go early quarterback, just make sure the going against traffic isn't more advantageous, meaning that I'm in my buddy draft right now. I do a 10-man buddy league that I've done for 20-something plus years. And in that buddy draft, I have this team right here so far. Bajan, Bucky, I took those guys back to back. Then I took Kyron at the 3. You can see the 3.2 right here. Kyron at 3.2, Hendy at 4.9. I went running back. And then at 5.2, I got Garrett Wilson. Like, I can't help that Garrett Wilson fell in this grandma league. I don't even know. Maybe some of my friends passed away and they're still on auto and they just got re-invited into the league. I don't know. But guess what? 5.2 is where I got Garrett Wilson. Everybody kind of like, he's going, oh, are you going to draft anybody but running back, Smitty? Oh, if you're not a running back, you don't qualify for Smitty's team. You know, the jokes are coming in, but then I land Garrett Wilson at 5.2. I get RJ Harvey in the 6th round, then the running back jokes come in again, and then I go ahead and land Travis Hunter at 7.2. And those are the only 2 wide receivers I'm required to start. And so I'm flying high. It's hard to say in a 10-man what's going to happen. And 10-man leagues deserve love too. 10-man leagues matter too. And so do 12, obviously. So that is one way you could approach it is ignore the quarterback position if people are pulling the trigger too early. Don't think because everyone's going quarterback in round 2 and 3, like Lamar went at like the top of 2 in this draft. Don't think because people are pulling the trigger early, you got to follow them into the abyss. Just step back, let them all scramble and do what I did. I wouldn't have got Garrett Wilson in round at 5.2 in a 10-man if everyone wasn't scrambling for quarterbacks in a 1 QB league. So the advantage is it's all board dependent, bro. You cannot say, oh, it's the only edge you get by getting a quarterback early. It can be, but the flow matters more than anything, and I can't predict that for you. I can just say stay on your toes and grab the best player available. Do you think that when I was on the clock here, because quarterbacks were going early, that I said maybe Bucky isn't the best player available at 2.9? No, I said because 2 quarterbacks just went in round 2, Bucky became the best player available. Abort early quarterback. Abort early quarterback in 10-man league. Abort early tight end. McBride was there. Bowers was there. I didn't go Bowers at 2.9 in a 10-man league. I went motherfreaking 2.9 Bucky Irving. And then when Kyron was sitting there at 3.2, I could have went McBride. I didn't. Because you know what? I'm going to go get one of my breakout tight ends later on, and I'm going to be just fine at that position. So you have to kind of make that judgment call on the board. And if you've got something on the clock, it's a slow draft, bring it to me in a super chat, and I'll definitely tell you who I'd take. I just offered Hampton and Jennings for London and Hunter. Hampton and Jennings for London and Hunter. If it gets rejected, which it will. It's like, bro, if I was him...
You were offered sex. You were made offered sex.
It's not that it can't happen. I mean, look, we live in a world where, you know, anything can happen. We live in a world where people don't think that Henderson, Harvey, Hunter, and Hampton, the Triple H. We live in a world where people.
TJ, what you gonna do?
In a jam. Call HHH and
Wrong button.
Associates.
Triple H and Associates. Locations on Earth and Jupiter.
We live in a world. Wrong button. Sorry. We live in a world where Triple H and Associates aren't valued where they should be. So I don't really know where London's valued, but I would say that at the end of the day, Jawan Jennings, 3rd and Jawan, is in Hampton. Look, Hunter and Hampton are in some ways, someone could say, very closer value than people think. But London versus Hampton, London crushes Hampton, and I love Hampton. So Hunter, Jennings, like whatever way you want to line this up, it doesn't fit. It's clobbering. One side's clobbering and lambasting the other side. and making its biatch. If it gets rejected, which it will, but try. Counter with CMC and Keenan Allen. Yeah, London and Hunter for Keenan Allen and CMC. That also might end a friendship or invoke the
You are offer sex. You are trade offer sex.
Just because the offer is bad doesn't mean you won't fleece him. So I'm not saying don't do it. Just fleece JSN and Devontae Smith for Pacheco and Mason. But it only left me with Bijan Algier. Okay, so you traded. I'm pretty sure you're trading Pacheco and Mason because you're saying it only left you with the way you worded this. Okay, so yeah, you got JSN and Devontae Smith. That was a good trade. I like Jordan Mason a lot. I like Pacheco a little bit, but yeah, I mean, you got to take JSN and Devontae Smith. But you could just flip one of those guys. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a good team. Good move. I like the move. Very solid maneuver, indeed. And then I've got. Let's see here. I just offered Hampton. I did that one. I got this one just fleeced my buddy. Then we got this one from this guy right here, Hampton or Harvey. If you had to pick, I would say Hampton because you can draft both of them. It's kind of a trick question, and I gotta clarify and give you my supporting evidence is that I could grab both of them, and they're not going anywhere near the same territory. If we're talking about a rookie only draft, I probably lean Hampton for safety, but that doesn't mean I don't in the spots where if I played in one league, this would be a complicated pull on the heartstrings, right? Because you only have one shot at it. But the way I look at things and the way most people should, because we all play in so many leagues, is I'm going to have other shots to get Harvey, and I did, and I do, and I have. And I've got Harvey, I've got Hampton, and rookie drafts, I've got other shots. I've made trades that you got to kind of take some of the spots where you get them, you know, and Hampton in a rookie draft should probably go ahead of Harvey because the long-term value probably feels a touch better to most people. The trade value is better. Everything's better, even though Harvey could outperform him or score just as well. Hampton's very safe too. Harvey's not necessarily as safe, but he's got as much, if not in some cases, more upside in that Denver offense. He could catch 70 balls this year. The answer is both. If you could get Harvey plus something, which is what the real true answer is, I want Harvey plus more versus just Hampton, and you can command that. Dynasty trade away Puka and Keon Coleman for CD. Of course I would do that. What Keon Coleman doesn't move the needle. This is an absolute home run if you could pull it off.
You've just been.
I mean, CD to me is a whole level above Puka, just because Puka in Dynasty comes with a lot of inherent risk with Stafford. What happens when that situation is dissolved? Can you play the Bajan Beach video? Yes, we'll play that in just a minute, my boy. Appreciate you dropping that super chat. And then remind me again if I don't play it, but I will play it. I just want to get through everything here. Traded Puka away for London Dynasty, changed Dynasty name to Drake. Wide receiver 1. Yeah, bro, you could change it to the Drake too. That's what we call him here. Overcome to the moon. Appreciate you. Love the trade. London's a top 3 to 5 wide receiver this year. That might be tomorrow's video. The deepest top 5 wide, or deepest number 1 wide receiver. Maybe we do that. Traded ETN and Burden for Harvey. Thoughts? I love that. I love that trade. Smitty approved 100%. Love the team. Easy trade. Easy trade. Any of the Triple H's in that situation will be a good trade. Okay, super chats are caught up. I'll answer them in order which are received. If you got more of them, drop them, and then the phone lines will be open soon. Let's get through this. Hampton, easy top 5 running back potential nomination. Not even, that's easy. That's not even like bold. I think where we get, so we've got Genty, we got Hampton, we got Kyron. Those are all very easy calls. Where it starts to get a little bit dicier for some people because they say, not top 5. Look, Hall still has top 5 running back upside. You might not believe it right now. You might say, I'm not going to bank on it, and that's okay. No one's asking you to bank on it, but this guy's been number 2 overall. This guy can catch 80 footballs this year. This guy can catch 70, 80 footballs next year. This guy in Dynasty deserves so much more consideration than people are giving him. Ziggy, volume 10. Ziggy, how old is Breece Hall?
Breece Hall was born on August 14th, 1999 in Ellicott City.
1999? No, how old is Breece Hall?
Beacons.I. Breece Hall is turning...
Not Bryce Hall. Ziggy off. Ziggy off. Ziggy off. Damn it, Ziggy. You're worthless, bro. You're worthless. Let's ask Kruger, because you clearly don't know what in the hell you're doing anymore. You're good for time and weather, and even that you struggle. You're on the struggle bus from hell all the time. Now Kruger won't open. What kind of assistance do I have? And I know how old he is. I want his birthday is what I'm really reaching for. These guys drive me nuts. These guys drive me absolutely nuts. 24. Kruger, you loaded too late. I was asking you how old Breece Hall is, the running back for the Jets, and specifically also what his birthday is. It's May 31st, 2001. He's 24.
But Smitty, sorry for the slight delay there. I'll crank it up to triple speed for you. So yeah, Breece Hall is 24 years old. His birthday is indeed May 31st, 2001. Keep it snappy and energetic.
Yeah, you're too late. Okay, so just so everyone knows, he's a spring chicken. He still is a young man. He's still a very, very young player. Like, that's crazy when you think about it. Breece Hall, 24 years old. Can I put that into perspective real quickly? Do you know how old RJ Harvey is? The same age. Breece Hall and RJ Harvey are the exact same age. So why are we disrespecting him? Why in Dynasty are we looking at Breece Hall as somebody that's maybe his time's up and, you know, the train has run its course and it's about to derail? I mean, he is 24 years old. He is the same age as, and then the mileage, I get it, the injury, all that stuff, it adds up, and you could definitely say Harvey's starting with 0 miles on his odometer. We'll get to Harvey in a second. But this is a running back that can give you 4 more years at least. And so in Dynasty, trade for him. In Dynasty, throw him into deals. That deal I did in Dynasty the other day, which was, in my opinion, I think it's almost a crime. I think I ended up really lambasting somebody into a million little pieces because I traded Jalen Hurts in a 1 QB for Bo Nix, who I targeted because I believe Nix is going to be just as good as Hurts as soon as the tush push is out of the way next year, when the commissioner corruptly strong arms the league into getting rid of it. Even if it's just modified, it still hurts enough that Nix becomes just as good as of a rusher. Nix can get you 7 to 8 touchdowns as a rushing quarterback and 600 yards. When Hurts' tush push becomes an afterthought and then it's normal quarterback rushing, he'll still get 7 to 8 rushing touchdowns, maybe 10. I think he still will, but that's what Nix can get. They're then on even playing fields, and then Nix gets you 4,000 yards. He gets you 3,300 if you're lucky, 2,900 to 3,300. This guy doesn't throw. He gets you, what, 18, 19, 22 touchdowns? This guy can get you 35 plus. Once Nix and Hurts are even in terms of the rushing stats, even if they didn't get evened up, even if the tush push doesn't get eliminated, it's still taking a toll on Hurts. He's getting injured behind the scenes, getting covered up by Sirianni in press conferences, which happened last year, which was hilarious. Hurts is injured right now. And one of his PR guys or staff members or somebody, we don't even know who, said, they whispered in his ear, and he goes, "Never mind, Hurts isn't injured." Right in front of everybody. They're hiding all the injuries that the tush push is building up for Hurts. But anyway, Nix, even if Nix doesn't ever catch him, he's still a 600 to 700 yard rushing quarterback, one of the best in the league, and 6 to 8 touchdowns. And he's going to throw for 4,000 yards and 3,500 or 30, let's call it 33 plus touchdowns versus Hurts' 18, 19, 20. So what I did is I said, give me Nix. Oh, downgrade me into Bo Nix. and give me Breece Hall. This was one of the easiest trades I've ever done in fantasy football dynasty history. This is such a smash, getting one of my breakout quarterbacks that's going to be top 5, 6, 7 for the next 10 years. Nix is going to ball. Nix plays for Sean Payton. Sean Payton makes his quarterbacks gunsling. Sean Payton's offense thrives. And Bo Nix is his new Drew Brees. Bo Nix is going to thrive in this Denver system. And I got a 24-year-old running back. And this is just one of the easiest trades in Dynasty 1 QB I've ever assembled. So I urge you all to go get Breece Hall. Now, again, we're trying to move on downstream. Hall clearly has top 5 upside. He's been number 2 before. Hall clearly has top 5 running back upside, even though it's not guaranteed. We're getting into that. It's never guaranteed. The further we get down this list, the more people in the chat might go, nah, I don't think so. That's the whole point of the video. We're trying to find the boldest, deepest running back, top 5 running back call. It's not going to feel like you're fitting a exact foot that fits the exact shoe straight in. This is going to be a little tight. And then maybe the foot busts loose, tears the shoe up, and you go to the promised land. That's what's happening here. The other thing I would say is this is one of those players that could get traded to. And I don't think he will at the beginning of the year. But if something goes awry, if Braylon Allen starts kicking into high gear, and, you know, we do have that Braylon Allen video, by the way, which is a pretty damn good video. Let me play this.
Breece Hall.
Please report to the moon.
8 foot tall.
So, you know, Braylon Allen does have a lot of upside. We've always loved Braylon Allen, even as a young rook. But if something were to happen, he's going to a team that wants to use him. They're going to trade for him. You know, they're going to give up draft capital. They're going to give him a new contract. And he's going to be due for a new contract. So understand that any team that gets him will be paying him bank. So whether it's the Washington Commanders, can you imagine? And I love Bill, you know, Ja'Cory Krosky, Merritt. Love him. But can you imagine where Breece Hall would go, you know, in terms of space cadet, you know, ventures if he goes to Washington? Chicago, probably one of the most likely teams to trade for a running back, and the Houston Texans, one of the most likely teams to trade for a running back. Question will be, will Houston be in a position where they're even winning or looking good enough that they'll take a gamble to go get a running back? I don't know. I think Houston might look really bad this year and crumble really quickly, and then trading for a running back. Now, they traded for running back and it was a long-term answer. They might still do it, but that's what we're looking at here. So Breece Hall, 8 foot tall, always handles the ball and does great things with it. Here's the video.
Breece Hall is 8 foot tall. He will always answer the mother freaking call. Don't let him fall. In the third, don't stall. Just give Batman the freaking football.
He's Breece. He's Breece.
He does a hull of a job. A hull of a job. A hull of a job.
Breece Hall, please report to the moon.
Easily a top 5 running back. Deep candidate, no doubt about it. All right, let's dig a little deeper. Let's go toward you got Chase Brown, Hampton. You know, Harvey, we just talked about him. Harvey easily has that deepest top 5 running back upside and capability, for the mere fact that this man is going to catch 70 plus receptions in 2025. He's going to have 70 plus receptions in 2025. And if that shocks you and you're like, what? No offense, but you don't know what don't even get into this conversation. You need to step back and go, why is it that he's saying that? Let me look into why. Because if you just don't understand what I'm saying here, you don't have all the information, and you're walking into a slaughterhouse of conversation. Just going to get, worn down to a little nub. this is inevitable. This is what happens for Sean Payton running backs. Sean Payton running backs catch 70-plus footballs as rookies. Kamara walked in as a rookie and caught 81 footballs in a more crowded room than Harvey sitting in. J.K. Dobbins is a nothing burger. This guy was the worst running back in the league last year after his first 2 played games. From his 3rd played game all the way to the end of the year, he averaged 3.8 yards per carry, was the worst goal line back in the league, and Harbaugh abandoned the run and threw the ball at the goal line the rest of the season. So anybody trying to suggest that J.K. Dobbins is some sort of long-term threat, they don't know ball. What we do know for a fact is that rookie running backs are the lifeblood. This is the quote from Sean Payton when asked about Harvey and his role, that the draft is the lifeblood of the team and all of his teams. That you grab your quarterback, you build around that quarterback, you draft all of your rookies. Your rookies are your future. And Harvey is the guy. Harvey was drafted to be Alvin Kamara 2.0. And when reporters press him and say, but he can't, this is what the uneducated that doesn't know anything about this, it's not their fault, but they heard it on another channel. And they're like, oh, I'm going to repeat this so I sound real smart in the chat. His pass protection, he won't be in there on 3rd downs. I heard what channel? I heard that from like 4 different people. He won't be in there on 3rd. You don't know what you're talking about. Unfortunately, you don't. This has already been addressed 10 times over by Sean Payton, not by speculation, by Sean Payton. He will be on the field on 3rd downs because the ball is going to him on 3rd downs. That part people don't talk about. That's what Sean Payton said. So 81 receptions as a rookie, Kamara got in a much more crowded backfield. Does anybody know? If you were in the show the other night, then you do know. And if you watched the video this morning, the early morning video, does anybody know what Kamara finished as a rookie in Sean Payton's offense when he caught 81 receptions as a rookie? He finished as RB4. Does anybody know who was on the roster this year during Kamara's rookie year? Ingram. Ingram, if you don't know, was a very good running back prospect. Ingram finished as RB9 during the same year. Yeah, Sean Payton had 2 top 9 running backs, one of which, his rookie, was running back 4. Ingram was RB9 that same fantasy season. Stop with the J.K. Dobbins nonsense. You sound like you don't know ball. Harvey can be a top 5 RB. Kamara was 4. Harvey's going to catch 70-plus receptions. Harvey is going to get you 1,000 rushing yards. And even if he was like 950, he's getting you 500, 600 receiving yards with his 70-plus receptions. Harvey is going to get you 12 TDs minimum. Harvey's 100% got top 5 running back upside in appeal. Imagine not knowing this information and actually trying to educate people, like in a chat somewhere, like, oh, he's not a good passer. Imagine the gall it takes for somebody to literally turn to the people next to him and start spewing out nonsense about Harvey and how he can't be on the field on 3rd downs when you don't even know the information. You don't even know the information. Imagine that. What's that feel like? All right. Harvey to the moon. Triple H and associate extraordinaire.
In a jam, call HHH and Associates.
Triple H and Associates. Locations on Earth and Jupiter.
The Jupiter Men. Jupiter is so large, every planet in the solar system could fit inside it. There are no bigger monsters than the Jupiter Men.
And then now we go to Hendy. Hendy is one of my favorite players in fantasy football 2025, period. End of story. Someone comes in here and says they like Hendy. No, they don't. I love Hendy. We love Hendy. No one loves Hendy more than we do. We've been talking this guy up as the running back 2. And we like Hampton. We've always liked Hampton. But there's a reason why when you see the Triple H and Associates, you see Hendy and Harvey and Hunter. And then you've got Hampton, who we do know the draft value is higher. We do know the top 5 upsides there. We do know that the floor is higher for Hampton than these other guys. But the upside's higher for Hendy and Harvey. And that's why when you say, Smitty, did you always like Hendy over Hampton? And yes, the answer is yes. And the proof is in the build of the HHH and Associate video. Look right here.
Jam. Call HHH and Associates.
Hampton's
Triple H and Associates.
coming into the
Locations
picture
on Earth and Jupiter.
as trying to become a full-time associate because that's how much I love Hendy and Harvey. But you got to use ADPs to your advantage. You got to try and grab them at the right spots. You got to try and grab both of them. You can grab Hampton earlier, and then Hendy over Hampton is wild, bro. Sorry, bro. You don't have to apologize to me. Apologize to yourself. Apologize that you think that this is wild because you're the only one that's in here saying this. How wild is it? How wild could it really be? Apologize to yourself. Look yourself in the mirror and say, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm so close-minded to this topic that Smitty's out here creating magic. And you're not absorbing it. Don't apologize to me. Apologize to yourself. Apologize to your family for maybe accidentally not winning, maybe a best ball tournament you could have won if you just listened to Smitty and taken Hendy a little more seriously. That's what I would focus on apologizing about. Don't waste it on me. I don't care. Hendy is that guy that can get you the Jahmyr Gibbs production. This is Jahmyr Gibbs 2.0. This is Gibbs 2.0. And if anybody says that's ridiculous, he's not Jahmyr Gibbs, let me be the one to tell you who Jahmyr Gibbs 2.0 is. I'm the one who told you who Jahmyr Gibbs 1.0 is. So I think I got a little latitude to describe who might be the next Jahmyr Gibbs 2.0. This is him. This is Jahmyr Gibbs 2.0. You either know it or you don't know it. If you don't know it, well, that's fine. I don't care. We need enough people in that bucket so that we can have the value continue to be kind of at bay. Nobody wants Hendy going in round 3. Hendy goes in round 3. Where's our advantage point? We need a certain number of people that say, that's wild. That's Hendy. Hendy over Hampton. That's wild. That's wild. Is it wild? Good. How wild is it? Can I make it wilder? How can I dress it up to be a little more wild? How about top 5? Yeah, okay, there we go. Boldest top 5 take, Hendy. How's that? This guy could easily rush for 950 yards because this is a Kamara. Does anybody know that Alvin Kamara never rushed for 1,000 yards in his career? And Alvin Kamara has been a staple, top 5 running back staple for years and years. This is that kind of player. I'm not saying that Hendy won't have 1,000 yards. Hendy could have 1010, 1050. He could have 1150 some year. But Kamara, which is just such an amazing thing to think about when you look at Kamara's rushing, and I'll put Kamara's rushing on screen. He never has rushed for over 1,000 yards. It's wild. And I got to screenshot his receiving numbers too, because you got to understand why. If you don't know, if you're not a big Kamara connoisseur, or let's say you just got into fantasy this year and you're not really sure what Kamara has brought to the table over the years. Kamara has been one of the best running back staples in fantasy. Here's his rushing totals. Never rushed for over 1,000 yards. Doesn't mean he's not a marvel. Here's his receiving numbers. Look at that. 81, 81, 81, 83. Sean Payton had this man receiving 81, 81, 81, 83. Look at the targets. Look at the yards. Look at the touchdowns. 800, 700, 500. But that's what, so just going back to Harvey real quickly, that's what Harvey's going to do. Harvey's going to be a monster. 70 plus receptions is lowballing the man. Kamara had 81, 81, 81, 83 in back-to-back seasons over in New Orleans. 950 this year is certainly in the cards for Hendy. And then I'm going to give him something along the lines of, if we go back to Kamara's receiving numbers, Kamara did have, let's see here. Where's his receiving stats? 728. His rookie year and 8 touch. God, that's crazy. He's such good. So 8 touchdowns on the ground. I'm going to say Hendy's going to look really similar. I'm going to give him 6 TDs on the ground. And then if we go over to his receiving stats, he got, where's his receiving stats? There it is. 81 for 620, 826, 705. Let's give him 650. Let's give this boy 910 yards rushing. This monster, this amazing player named Trey Henderson. He likes to go by Trey, by the way. He likes to go by Trey. Why don't you call him what he wants to be called? Trey Henderson. Do it live. Let's give him 70 receptions for 550 and 4 to 5 TDs. So we're talking about probably 11 total touchdowns is what I'm guessing. 75-50. This could even be 850. I mean, look at this yardage total. It's crazy. Hendy's going to the moon, and Hendy's so diverse and so important. He's more important than Hampton. Like for that guy that earlier, where was his comment? I think it was right here. He said Hendy over Hampton is wild, bro. I'm sorry. First, why are you apologizing like it offends me that you're disagreeing with? I'm glad, especially the way you think about it. I'm glad you disagree with me because that makes me feel like I'm right. But for you to say I'm sorry. Hampton is not as important to his team as Hendy is to his team. I hope you understand that. And there's nothing but mounting evidence to suggest why. The phone line's open for you if you want to call in and discuss this, but Hendy is way more important to his team than Hampton is to his team. Does that make sense to you? There's multitude of reasons, but number one is the pass pro. The pass pro alone, protecting Drake May, is the number one priority for this team, which means that Hendy doesn't come off the field. Of course you disagree with it, John, because you own Hampton. I disagree with that. My Hampton shares disagree with that statement. I disagree with that statement. Pass pro alone makes him invincible. Okay, because he doesn't leave the field. He's there. He's been drafted number one priority to protect Drake May. Number two priority is to protect Drake May through catching footballs, dump off passes, catch footballs in the flat, screen plays, draw plays. It doesn't matter. This man is there to protect as a safety mechanism, twofold, on two different fronts: pass protection and making sure he's the safety net. He's the safety valve, if you will, the safe space for Drake May so that Drake May doesn't get humbled into the ground. He is also their number one wide receiver. Pass pro, monster, safety mechanism, number one pass catcher on the team. These are so many more reasons. And then just look at his preseason game, his near 100-yard return for a touchdown. He is a weapon. Hampton is a guy that we love, that's in a system that treats everybody like a number. And while they love Hampton, and they do, and while Roman loves Hampton, and he does, this is still a running back room that's going to have process in place where, it's going to be, everybody's in a committee. That's why the Greg Roman comments shouldn't affect anybody when he said that Hampton's going to not be the only running back. We're going to share carries. No running back room in the league anymore is one running back. That shouldn't scare anybody off from what Hampton can become. And I just told you Hampton's got top 5 running back upside. I just went over that. But this guy has more upside. He might have more risk, but who cares about that? He's got more upside. This could be the running back 2. This could be the running back 1 some years. Hampton's going to always be 4, 5, 6, Could he have a running back 4 or 3 season? He could, but like Marshawn Lynch over the years, Hampton's going to be a staple in that 4 to 7 range for running backs. Number 4, number 7, number 6. What's wrong with that? Why does anybody take that as an insult? Oh, Smitty just said Hendy could be a higher ceiling some years. Why is that insulting when I just told you Hampton could be running back 4, running back 5, running back 7, running back 6, running back 4? That is a staple. That is a late first round, top of round 2 guarantee every single year. We got super chats here. Phone lines are not open yet. Unless that one guy's calling in to argue how crazy and wild it is that I have Hampton under Harvey in terms of importance for his team. That phone line's wide open for you. What's good? Are you going to come up with something like last year's tripod strategy for redraft? Yeah, we'll have a lot of draft stuff coming in the next couple of days. And I'm going to try to do a video on how to dominate each pick as well. So thank you very much for the super chat. You are the man, the myth, the legend. Thank you, Hawk. Appreciate you. And this one here from ZK. ZK says, I saw that Genti had more touches than Saquon last year. Are we on Genti because his mileage is lower as a rookie? Is it really that simple? College carries shouldn't really affect too much, bro. This was a lot of carries for him to get. A little more than normal for anybody to bring in as a rookie. So there's a little bit more concern probably than normal. You have to admit that as a statistician or, just a good analyst. But at the end of the day, it's still rookie carries and he's so young and fresh. I'm not worried about it. If a rookie was to get 371 carries, which is the 371 carry curse that we talk about where a running back drops off, he'd have a lot more likelihood of busting through that and it not affecting him quite as much. And so I'm not worried about that mileage. Also, keep in mind a lot of his runs were when you have 29 touchdowns like Genti did in college, you're talking about a lot of the plays where he ended up in the end zone on his feet. So was his mileage as bad as it could have been? Not really, because he scored 29 times and a lot of times he's on his feet when he's done with a play. But I'm not worried about it, bro. I think Genti's gonna ball. Just traded away Puka and Coleman for CD. Yeah, that's what a move, Jonathan. I think I already put that up on screen, unless it's a new one. No, that's the same one. That's what a move, bro. What a move. Did it live. We did it live. We do it live, Jonathan. Appreciate you. Nice job doing that trade. 12-man PPR redraft. Would you take Genti, Hampton, Hendy, and Harvey in the first 6 rounds? If it falls in place? Absolutely. We do it all the time. There's nothing wrong with that. Just make sure you're not reaching to get it and passing up on talent that is ranked higher in your mind and you're just trying to accomplish some sort of weird build. You know what I mean? Then you're sacrificing talent, leaving meat on the bone. And thank you for the super chats. I got all those answered. And anybody has more super chats, let them flow in like wine and we'll answer them immediately. I'm going to do that from now on. I'm going to try and get the super chats all taken care of right when they come in. Pass Pro, safe space for him, safety mechanism, safety valve, best wide receiver on the team, and probably one of the most elusive weapons in the National Football League. He could be number 1, number 3, number 4, number 1, number 2. This guy could be that good every single year. He's got that kind of appeal and upside. So Hendy right now is the leading candidate for me to be the most likely, we'll put him right here, the most likely top 5 boldest RB that we can find. Just because I find more of them doesn't mean they'll be the boldest one. I think that I will pull up some other guys and we'll talk about them, but I don't know that I'm going to cement them in. Right now, Hendy's going to hold that position. We talked about Hall. We talked about Harvey. We talked about, obvious calls like Chase Brown and Kyron who don't really qualify because they're too good. I think, you see a player like Chuba Hubbard, and he's got certainly some appeal to be at number 5 or number 6. I don't think I'm going to lock him in here. I just wanted to mention his name because he does deserve at least that. I think that, a guy like Kenneth Walker, if he could stay healthy, would be in this conversation, but he can't stay healthy. And because, we're not starting off the year with all Charbonnet, there's no trade where Walker could get traded later, then Charbonnet can't really. Per start, Charbonnet could be in this conversation. I think that, you dig deep into a a territory like, God, it's tough because there's so many running backs that you think could qualify per start if they ever get in there and get the work. But there's really nobody in my mind that feels top 5 worthy in taking and dethroning Hendy from this ranking. Even though I like Chuba, even though Kamara still has a shot per start, even though you've got people that love Jacobs want to talk about Jacobs here, this is my pick. And this is bold. This is bold when you talk about the fact that you have Bijan, Gibbs, Barkley, Genty, Bucky, Kyren, Achane, McCaffrey, JT, I said Henry already, Chase Brown. You've got literally 10, 11 running backs that most people would say are ranked ahead of Hendy. So this is a deep call. This probably is the boldest and deepest call we can find. Aside from trying to grab a Chuba, trying to grab a, somebody crazy like Bigsby, which, honestly, you want to say that there's a shot in hell that this guy produces like a top 5 to 10 running back. So we'll call it 6 to 10. It's certainly in the cards. And Bigsby had a stretch of games last year in the middle of the year where he had two touchdown rushing performances and 100 yards on the ground. He very much showed signs of being maybe that Bucky Irving. It was between Bucky and Bigsby, and Bucky's the one that ended up being the guy. But Bigsby was the guy that popped a little sooner, had the same explosion games, 2 100-yard and 2 touchdown games on the ground, and then just didn't get used. Liam Cohen might make this kid turn into his Bucky Irving. So Bigsby deserves to be mentioned. He's probably the poor man's version of this question. He's probably the deeper call, but maybe the less safer call, the one that doesn't want to nudge Hendy out of the spot. But Bigsby's certainly in the mix here. And then you've got a guy like, I mean, I don't even know that we could put, any other players in this category. Top 5. Like, we talk about top 10 and be different. We could have a conversation about, does a guy like Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt become that good? Does a guy like Trey Benson, if Connor went down early, become that good? Does a guy like Dylan Sampson become that good? Does a guy like potentially, there's so many players we love, in this realm. But I would say that at the end of the day, this becomes my pick. This becomes the guy that I believe has the highest likelihood of being the deepest, boldest, top 5 running back in fantasy football. And where are you drafting him? The 5th round. And I know some of you want to take him in the 2nd round because you get excited about a hype video like this, but you have to be very vigilant and very, astute and on your toes about his ADP. And you got to count your ADP spots. And if you're sitting here in 4 and 5 and your pick's right here, and you're like, oh, should I just take him? Should I just take him, Smitty? What if I lose him? You got to count the ADP spots. And if his projected landing spot is target territories here, but you draft here, you're probably okay. If he's going to be expired on ADP by the time your pick comes up or equal, if his ADP is right at your pick, you might have to take him a little early. But no one is suggesting that anybody goes into round 3 and just says, well, my league's smart, they might take him. You don't need to take him in the 3rd round. If he ever climbed there, I would Smitty approved Hendy in the round 3. Believe me, because I'm telling you his top 5 running back upside. But don't go doing anything you don't need to do. You're leaving meat on the bone, and you're ruining your upside and chances to have one of the best steals in fantasy football 2025 when you're talking about like at least late 4th round value is probably the highest you want to target him and start, giving up some of that upside that is built into every single draft slot you get to take advantage of getting him late. If you start taking him at 4.1 all the time just because you can't move the pick, you need to take variety anyway because you're probably playing in 3 or 4 leagues. So don't try and, force a square peg into a round hole all the time with all of your drafts. And then you've got Hendy in 4 drafts and you've reached on him in 3 of them and then he gets injured, and now you're out for your whole fantasy season's takes a tumble, and then you come in and blame me because you took him at 4.1 when I said not to mix things up and diversify your portfolio as ADP will allow it. That's the key to being a disciplined and good fantasy football manager, is diversifying your portfolio as ADP will allow you to manipulate said portfolio. That's the key to mastering a fantasy football career, really, not just a season. BBQ in the building. BBQ dropping 20 gifted memberships. Let me fix my alerts because they're not going off. I'm sorry about that. 20 gifted memberships from BBQ. What a mother freaking monster he is. Please thank BBQ for dropping those gifted memberships that just flowed in like water and wine. We've got one more super chat that just came in, and then the phone lines will be open. Rockout says day 21, 13,000 steps. Look at Rockout go. That's absolutely phenomenal. Rockout, I'm proud of you, pal. And the phone lines are open. Dial in.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Dial in. We're talking. Well, here's the James Cook news for those that missed it. Here is the situation at hand. The boldest top 5 running back. Gavin, you're live. What can I do for you, Gavin?
Oh, all right. I traded Caleb Johnson for Jordan Addison.
Caleb Johnson for Jordan Addison. Honestly, is this redraft or dynasty?
Redraft, and I needed a receiver.
I think I could go either way on this one. Addison's out 3 games. That sucks, but at the same time, Caleb's okay. If you're good at running back, then I don't mind giving this up and getting Addison. Addison's pretty good, bro. I just think, will he be consistent? I don't know. Hard to say. He's kind of one of those guys that he's really, really efficient, so I don't mind this at all. I think people are a little too high on Caleb Johnson anyway. I'm not saying Caleb Johnson doesn't have his strong points in terms of, return on investment opportunity, especially if you can get Caleb in just the right spot. I'm not opposed to drafting him. There's no Caleb hate here. There's no Caleb's a bust here. I've never said that. But when people start, talking about him being, well, what about Caleb Johnson when you're talking about Hendy? Or what about Caleb Johnson when you're having a conversation about HHH and Associates? Why isn't Caleb Johnson there? That has me tearing him down to size, and it looks like I'm hating on him, and I'm not. Or when someone says, what do you think about Caleb Johnson being the best, surprise running back? I just don't think that offense is going to allow him to do what you think he's going to do, and either Jaylen Warren won't allow him to do what you think he's going to do. But he's a really good player. He's just not elite. I'm sorry. His metrics didn't show it. And I'm not saying that Addison's in the best spot. The 3 games suspended. JJ McCarthy kind of still feel like he's going to be a little bit lesser than people think. But the teams could win if they build around that and they accept what he is instead of trying to make him into a 5,000-yard passer. Then they might win games. So Addison could do well. Yeah, I'm fine with that trade.
Mm-hmm.
All
I'm
right.
wondering who do you like more out of Hendy and Harvey, or do you have them close?
I mean, I mean, you just heard me, spiel on Hendy. So Hendy's if I picked Hendy as the boldest, I imagine that's the first rank, right? But I love Hendy and Harvey almost near equally. I want both of them, but Hendy just won this top, 5 boldest contest right here. So I gotta obviously give the crown to Hendy, but I love both of them, bro. I want both of them on my team. This is like splitting hairs, really, at the end of the day.
Yeah. I want Hendy bad. I can't get him.
Well, keep trying. Start another league, bro. That's the recipe. That's how you solve that.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to get him in my big money league.
The remedy is, hey, who wants to start an auction league? Then you can auction. You can get them no matter what. So go start an auction league, Gavin. All right, call back if you got another one. All right, let me go to the 704 caller. 704, what's your name and where are you calling from, 704?
Chris from North Carolina.
What's up, Chris? What can I do for you?
I just kind of wanted to make a bold case for Pacheco. I just think, I don't know, I think a couple of years ago was he number 12, I think, in PPR? I think I think the way Kareem Hunt was just walking into 20, 27 points every week, I think a healthy Pacheco, if he looks good, I think he's got a good chance, honestly. So
For top 5, though, bro, that's really, really, really swinging high.
Pacheco was 15. He got 15 2 years ago.
He was 15? Okay.
That
was his rookie year, right?
Hold on, let me merge this guy in. Hold on. Mute yourself real quick, Keith, and I'll be right with you. Look, I'm going to say this. I'm going to say Pacheco. If you told me Pacheco cuffed to Brashard Smith, then I would probably say that this is a conversation we can have about being that like borderline sneaky top 10 RB play if you had this cuffed. But Pacheco can't stay healthy. He runs so aggressively, he's going to get injured at some point. But I like him a lot. I don't think you're wrong for liking Pacheco, but make sure you're cuffing the situation. Having Pacheco alone is like having one Air Jordan. And then you go out there. Yeah, bro, you're going to look good when you're jumping off that shoe. But you need both of them. And if you have both of them, you might have a sneaky top 10 running back producing combo. And it becomes one of those really amazing hero RB running back 2 spots for you. Just like my two favorite hero RB 2s would be this right here. Number 1 favorite is ETN, Bigsby, and Tootin. And that costs you 3 draft slots. So it's not the easiest thing to implement because you end up having to pick these guys when you're like, damn it, I want that guy too, and I want that, and you gotta consume 3 RBs, like almost not back to back, but they're spread out kind of nicely. But this is my favorite RB2 and especially best ball. And we'll be drafting on Underdog. Please punch that. Probably, I'm not sure if we're gonna do it tonight or not. I usually take Wednesdays off, and with today's shows and the way I went live at 5 a.m., I'm not sure if I'm going to need to rest or not, but we'll see. But $10 minimum, they'll match your first deposit 50% all the way up to $1,000. So if you want to draft with us tonight, hit the link that I'm dropping in the live chat. I'll pin it right now. But point is, ETN Bigsby Tootin on Underdog as a running back 2 when you go hero RBs, fantastic. My other favorite is Pacheco and Brashard Smith. But without Brashard Smith, you're literally, you're going into a race without an unknown amount of gas in the tank, bro. So just make sure you have both. Anything else?
No, that's all.
All right, call back if you got another one. I don't hate the take that he's trying to make. It's just I think 5 is a little high. Especially given Brashard Smith, Keith, you're live.
Yeah.
Then over or go ahead, Travis first, and then Keith. Go ahead, Travis.
I was just going to say real quick on Kareem Hunt. He helped a lot of teams last year, but that was like a 6-week stretch from week 11 till the end of the year. He wasn't that good. I mean, he wasn't any better than like RB 18 or something from then on at his best. It was basically weeks 5 to 10. Kareem Hunt was really good, and that was it.
Yeah. Go ahead, Keith. You're live.
Smitty, you're awesome, dude. How you doing?
I'm good, bro. What can I do for you?
Hey, you want the full story or just the trade that I'm trying to do?
Just a trade.
You got it. So I put trading Jimmy Horn, Marvin Mims, and a 2026 mid-first. I'm trying to get Travis Hunter and Milton.
1 QB?
Superflex.
Okay. Love it. I mean, I don't think you're
for an hour.
I don't think you're gonna get it. if you get this, bro, that's amazing. First of all,
he's always dogging Travis Hunter in the chat.
Okay.
He's like, I can't believe I drafted this guy. He's injury prone. Blah blah blah. I'm like, all right, you know what? We're going after him. What's
this guy's deal? Does he not know he's like diminishing the value of his trade? Okay, so yeah, if he comes back to me and I'm you, and he asks for another first rounder, I'm still doing it.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, look, well, what makes you say really though? I'm just curious because.
I do love Travis Hunter. It's just,
Okay,
I exhaust my draft capital.
I understand, but where's Travis Hunter going in a draft? Where did he go in this draft? Mid first at least. So what do you expect? To not pay a premium on getting this kind of advanced? You know what I mean? You're getting Hunter now instead of waiting until next year. He went probably should have went higher than this mid first rounder would slot him. And you're throwing in, I love Marvin Mims, but you're throwing in Horn and Mims, but you're getting Milton in a Superflex. Like, this is easily qualifies as a 2 first-round move. And if you pull this off, bro, it's a masterful move. Masterful.
Yeah.
But do not think that Hunter doesn't deserve 2 first-rounders, especially when you're getting that premium up front. Like, you cannot expect to get it. Even Steven first-round pick. Like, hey, I got him at 6 or 7. I'll give you a 12. Like, who in the world's going to do that, right? I draft Travis Hunter at, let's say, 6 or 7 overall, and you say, hey, I'll give you a 20-27 6 overall. I mean, who in the world's going to do that? You know?
You're the one that studies psychology, so tell me this. Should I, with the next, if he doesn't tell me anything a little bit, should I offer him to add a second to it or add the first? Or should I just wait it out?
So this is probably a guy that doesn't know ball very well because he's like, I don't like Travis. He doesn't even know how to negotiate, bro. He's telling people in the chat, Travis Hunter's going to get hurt. I don't want him. He's like diminishing the trade value. I'm worried about if you even like send him something else, you'll get him overwhelmed and he'll just back away. So I don't know. I guess wait a little bit, and then the best move is to get him on the phone because these are the kind of guys that they'll do a deal over the phone, especially if you pressure them. Than they will when they're by themselves and get to walk away from it. So if you got on the phone with them and let's say he didn't do it, you could just say, I was going to offer you something crazy, bro, and you were just going to freaking take it. I was going to give you 2 additional second rounders. Like, and then it'd be like, and then see what he says, and then he'll probably like give you an indication of whether he's doing it. But this is the kind of guy, bro, that will literally talk himself out of it and then not even want to talk about it anymore. Then you could go, what about 2 first rounders? I just don't want to do it anymore. Like, it's hard to know. But get him on the horn, and I bet you anything you could get him to agree over the phone, and then he'll go be pressured to go do the deal manually. So,
it's crazy. This league I'm in, like, usually these guys are pretty good, but they're dogging Harvey and BTJ, and so I'm trying to snipe both of them right now. Like, I'm trying to work out deals right now.
Yeah. All right, bro. Got to go. Appreciate you.
Thank you. Bye.
All right, Travis, you're live.
I don't know, maybe you mentioned it, I missed it. Did you say, do you think Charbonnet could be a top 5 if Kenneth Walker wasn't there, or do you have him more in the top 10 range?
Yeah, I think he could be for sure. If Charbonnet was, let's say, they traded Walker before the year started,
right?
I think you'd have to have him on this board talking about it. Now, would he rank higher than Hendy for this conversation? No, but I would definitely have brought him on, and I could bring him on now just to discuss it. But I think where the hell is my Charbonnet graphic? There it is. I think that there's probably no chance they're trading Walker before the year starts. They'll eventually mute yourself real quick, caller. You got a lot of background noise. Eventually they're gonna look at it, I think, and either say no, Walker's playing great, we love him. The only problem about waiting till later is if he gets hurt again, I don't know that anybody's gonna want him. The league's pretty reactive, and if you can't stay healthy multiple years in a row and you just keep getting injured, it's gonna be hard to trade an injured player. So Walker's got to be traded while he's healthy. While he's proving that, he's still productive, but not so productive that they're like, we're not trading him. He's amazing. He's a top 5 running back. So it's kind of like a tricky thing to imagine because of Walker's injury history. How do you trade a guy that can't stay healthy? And when he is healthy, he plays so good, you don't want to trade him. So Walker's a complicated case, but if in a hypothetical, Charbonnet was the lone starter walking into week 1, absolutely we're having the same conversation. I'm just taking Hendy because Hendy's world's talent more than Sharp. Sharps is a great player that gets used properly when they do have him in there, and he's great to almost elite. Not everybody can be elite. Barkley's elite, Gibbs is elite, Bajan's elite, Christian McCaffrey's elite, skill set wise. Hendy, Harvey, in my opinion, is going to prove to be elite. But I would say Hendy's more elite than Harvey by quite a bit. It's just Harvey lives in Sean Payton's 81 receptions for Alvin Kamara back-to-back years. So you can't separate situation from player. If Harvey had landed in Pittsburgh, I wouldn't like Harvey near as much. If Hendy landed in Pittsburgh, it would be a tough pill to swallow, but I would still love Hendy more. So everyone needs to understand where that comes into play. Loving Arian Foster as the number one running back in fantasy football, knowing he wasn't near the talent that a Marshall Faulk was, didn't matter. And so Harvey is who he is, and I love Harvey exactly the way he is and where he is. And Charbonnet is similar. He's in a good spot. Now, it's a new system and everything, but I do believe that's where the ambiguity could come into play. But he is a great player, not quite elite. Hendy is elite. Harvey still is, but he's on the lower end of that elite scale in a much better system and situation. Hendy's in a great spot, but Harvey is in a little bit better spot because of the way that Sean Payton runs his rookies. Let me add Bruce in 1 second. So everyone's got to understand there's different pieces of the puzzle that are weighing these things down or propping them up. And Hendy to me fits the bill for he's elite. He's got a good enough situation that it's going to make him a baller. The situation's going to make him a baller. He's got a top, easily top 10 quarterback. He's got a probably going to be a more attractive spot to lure in new talent. So you're going to get bigger talent, bigger names in there into New England here in the coming year. They're going to have probably still a decent draft pick, and maybe they surprise in terms of wins and such, but this is very, very much, I believe this to be the same kind of season that the Lions had when they were just kind of letting everyone know, we're coming for you all next year. Here's kind of what we can showcase and do. We won't quite get there this year, but guess what? This is a team. And so I think that they'll still have a good draft selection and all that. But Hendy to the moon, Sharbs, or Hendy to Jupiter, Sharbs to the moon.
Yeah, I was just looking at RBs, and Charbonnet alone was really the only other guy I could come up with, because if you look at it, in this day and age, if you can't get minimum 50 receptions, probably closer to 60, in order to be a top 5 back, you have to have a year like Saquon or Henry or Josh Jacobs last year, where you have 13 or 1,400 plus yards on the ground and double-digit touchdowns. So, just off of that, a lot of guys are eliminated from the conversation.
Yeah. And if you don't have quite the opportunity, you better have, double the talent. And so Hendy might lack a little bit of the situation, but the good news is the team doesn't lack the desire to utilize him. So watching him return that touchdown kickoff, watching him get the carries right away, watching them kind of make their offense about Hendy, it shows you that even with the limitations, this is what they want. The best way to describe New England 2025 is Carolina and how they use Christian McCaffrey. Carolina wasn't that good of a team, and they continue to make the focal point Christian McCaffrey. And because he could catch and run near equally, you had an almost unstoppable situation and amount of volume for Christian McCaffrey, and no real way to stop it, because it's hey, you could crowd the box, but we'll just throw to him. So, and there's enough talent in New England with Drake May's legs, number one. Just being able to run makes it kind of difficult to focus on Hendy, even the way teams were trying to focus on Christian McCaffrey in Carolina. They can't really do that with Hendy. Hendy's got free reign to go wherever the hell he wants, and Drake May's legs make that possible. And if Kyle Williams ends up being the player we think he can, if Pop Douglas can be Shakir good, like Buffalo, Buffalo wide receiver Shakir, then you've got enough wiggle room to where teams aren't going, you can't even throw. We're just going to sit back and they can't do that. Drake May with Pop Douglas, Kyle Williams, and if Diggs stays healthy, and Hunter Henry, to be honest, this is all a pretty decent offense, even without Hendy. And then with Hendy, it becomes the Christian McCaffrey situation. Like, this is the next Christian McCaffrey. This is the next Jahmyr Gibbs. This is him. Whether people want to believe it or not, he's more like that person earlier. I don't even know if he responded after he made that comment, but he is more important Hendy to his offense than any running back might be to their offense, except for Bijan, Gibbs, and even then you could say equally. Hendy is more important to his offense than Hampton is to his offense. There's just no debating that. The phone line's open if you want to call in and debate it because you have 50,000 shares of Hampton and it pisses you off that I said that. But Hampton is good. Great. He's great. He's a great player. Hendy's a different level. Hampton in his situation makes him an elite fantasy football player. And Hampton is really, really good. I mean, he is probably elite at the lower end of the group of elite running backs. Hendy is in the top echelon of talent and ability and upside as Gibbs and Bijan. Whether anybody wants to believe that now or not, I don't care, because we've heard the Kyron excuses, the Achane excuses, and how does that look now? Where's Achane ranking amongst the whole world now in running back rankings? Top 5. Where was Achane last year, the year before? Doubted. He'll get hurt. I just don't see him as a full-time running back. We've been ahead of the curve on all of these things. So if you want to be behind and not trust the process that's been proving to you over and over and over that we know what's up on this channel, then do what you want. You know, you could think that Hendy's not an elite player, as elite as they come, or I don't really care. There's only so much I can do.
Yeah. Achane last year on Sleeper, his ADP was 25. So
yeah,
he's jumped almost 2 rounds.
And he's so good, bro. He's so good. All the HHH and Associates are
in a jam. Call HHH and Associates.
I still got to create
Triple H and Associates. Locations on Earth and Jupiter.
Still got to create the additional video on this one, but it's gonna be amazing, man. It's gonna be amazing. All right, let me get the super chat real quick. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think it's hard for people to grasp. You know, before this, people were saying, "Oh, this rookie class isn't that good," and you know, fast forward, and you got several guys who can be top 10 at their position. You know, between whether it's Ibuka, who might, you know, even if he doesn't do it all year, it's going to be in that top 12-ish range eventually. Hunter, and then the running backs, it's like an all potential class, and that's rare for rookies. And I think people have to start, one, see this as an exception because of the COVID year, but 2, have to really start accepting that rookies just break in faster all around now.
Yeah. Let's see here. Super chat here. Everyone in my league is talking about how I got fleeced in that Puka for CD trade. Let me just go back and see what the trade is. It was Puka. Okay, Dynasty. Trade away Puka and Keon Coleman for CD. Bro, there's no way. Have one of your league mates call me.
Jealousy.
Have one of your challenge your league to have one of them call me. One of them. Even all of them. You could get all 10 of them, 11 of them, whatever amount of size league this is. Get all 11 of them on the phone, and I'll do a conference call right now with all 11, and not one of them will beat my argument. I will smash their arguments into the ground into little itty-bitty pieces. Not one of your 11 or 9 grandmas in your league has a leg to stand on. This is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life. CD clobbers Puka and Keon Coleman. Let me put it this way. You could throw a first rounder into this, and I still would take CD Lamb. Unbelievable. Go get your league on the horn. We'll convert them into believers. Unbelievable, bro. Imagine that. Imagine thinking you got, okay, I like the Puka side better. I could see a comment like that, maybe 3 of them. maybe 4 of them. But what in the hell are we doing? What kind of Mickey Mouse content they consuming? Where they think Puka Nakua's got more value than CeeDee Lamb in a dynasty? Puka's already set his retirement date. What are we doing? Stafford's not going to be there. We don't even know if he's going to be there full time this year. That's the going concern everybody has. So what are we talking about? What's Puka going to do when Stafford's gone? I mean, he is a product of the system as much as he is a talent. No one's saying that those aren't so great on both sides that it makes him amazing. That's why he's amazing. But Puka, he loses Stafford. He loses 20-30% of his production. I mean, unbelievable. Okay, 10-team, half PPR, keeper league. I'm keeping Kyren 17th, Chase Brown 8th round. I have pick 9, and my options are at the turn. I will be Amon-Ra plus A.J. Brown, Drake London plus A.J. Brown, or Henry plus A.J. Brown. I don't mind A.J. Brown. I just wonder if there's a bet. You keep throwing A.J. Brown in there. What about Amon-Ra, Drake London? Yeah, what about yeah. What about London and, I don't know, just another player? I'm assuming Bucky's gone. I'm assuming, I mean, I'm not, if this is it's not a Dynasty league, so you can't reach on like something crazy that I would want to in Dynasty, but, and it's not that I don't love A.J. Brown. I just worry about him staying healthy. So what other options do you have? Give me Amon-Ra and Drake London by a country mother freaking 10 miles over A.J. Brown. Amon-Ra looks great right today in practice, by the way. He looks dominating. Yeah, that's an easy question. All right, phone line's open. Dial in. Especially if you're in that guy's league.
Call into the show.
My league, it's not your league, bro. It's one guy in a bunch of other people that don't want to stand up to him. That's what it is. You got crushed in that trade, and then maybe one of the person's like, yeah, what he said. There's no way you got 11 other people, or even 9, if it's a 10-man, other people together that truly believe that CeeDee Lamb is not worth giving up Puka and Keon Coleman. There's just no way. Those are corpses, or it's a grandma league, or it's pure pressure to agree with Bobby, who's in your chat. Bully Bobby, who's telling you that I'm unreal. Your live caller, what is your name and where are you calling from?
What's going on, Smitty? My name is Brady. I'm from Wisconsin.
Brady from Wisconsin. And I do have other callers on the phone. Elijah, I'll be right with you. Bruce, I'll be right with you. And Jazz, I'll be right with you. So Braden from Wisconsin. Braden, what can I do for you?
Yeah, so I got a regular redraft league coming up on ESPN in about a week here. And I have the 4th overall pick. I'm looking to come back around in the 2-3 turn. And I got guys like Chase Brown and Bucky Irving going. But I also have Brock Bowers and Trey McBride going in that range too, as well as Lad McConkey. I wanted to ask, especially in the shallow redraft league, like a start 7 where you got a flex spot, 1 quarterback, 2 running back, 2 wide receivers, how early should you really go with tight end? I mean, I'm looking at Brock Bowers over a guy like Chase Brown here, and then such a shallow redraft league where it's so important to fill a spot rather than just take the best available player.
Well, I don't agree that there's ever a league that exists that you don't take the best overall player. Like, so that right there, there's no definition there's no one that can say, well, my league it's more. No, it's not. Look, Chase Brown is a better pick than, in my opinion, going Brock Bowers, unless it's tight end premium. Did you say it was tight end premium?
It's not tight end premium, no.
Okay. I would take Chase Brown over Brock Bowers. Why? Because I still have a shot at McBride. If McBride's not there or kept or whatever the case may be, I still have a shot at Evan Ingram. I still have a shot at getting, in my opinion, getting a Kyle Pitts is worth it this year. One more try, like Timmy T said. But that doesn't mean I don't love Brock Bowers. It's just, if the running backs get consumed at a rapid rate and you got Bowers, congratulations. But give me Chase Brown, give me Bucky Irving, give me those guys with Evan Ingram, who I think is going to ball out and be a top 5 tight end. So to me, this is going to crush this right here. Now, if I didn't think there was any tight ends out there that would make this make sense, then I would probably try to argue that what if you can get Harvey and Bowers? But the truth is you can still get Harvey here. And that's not really a good comparable because you're not being prevented from drafting Harvey because Ingram's going around 9 or whatever. So at the end of the day, that's not even a good argument. I just think Chase Brown is the better pick, or a Bucky, or a player like London. Now, if you get to a point where, and this is where I decide to go tight end early, you get to a point where I'm sitting here going, okay, Chase Brown's gone, this guy's gone, that guy's gone. I know I can get Kyron the next round, or something like that, or even Kyron's gone. Now all of a sudden you're looking at Bowers and you're saying, I got to go Bowers. Bowers is the best player available. This really is a case-by-case basis. Don't look too far downstream. The only time I tell people to look downstream is that when you're making that first round pick, make sure you know your league enough that if you go wide receiver, you're not getting completely royally screwed out of getting that at least, one stud running back.
Exactly.
Past that, what?
I was going to say, and especially in the redraft format, like a start 7, I think we're just being silly with not taking Brock Bowers or a tight end, late in the second, because I'm thinking about, an underdog draft, and you're taking Bowers at usually the 2nd turn, maybe even earlier, and it's like in the start 7, you're really just trying to fill a spot. So a tight end spot that accumulates about 20% of your weekly output.
But everybody's got you keep saying that, but everybody's got to fill a spot. I don't know what you mean by that. You're like, well, in this league, it's more important to make sure you get it. What do you mean by all that? It's more important to fill.
Because in an ESPN league, I'm just trying to fill a spot, so I'm trying to take best available player in each positions. I get what you mean with Chase Brown, and even with injuries accumulating throughout the season, like you're gonna want those deeper running backs. You want to have a hard option.
Let me give you an example though of why what doesn't make sense to me is I took, and this is a 10-man league, and again, I'm not saying that I can confirm that some of these guys didn't pass away and they're on auto because I don't understand how this is a 20-year buddy league and we draft online. I can't confirm that 2 of these guys didn't pass away in auto pick because I don't know how I got this team in a 10-man. Took Bijan at 1.2, took Bucky at 2.9. And I took Kyron I took Bucky instead of Bowers. Bowers was still there. I went ahead and said, screw that. I'm taking Bucky. McBride was still there in the 3rd round, and I took Kyron right here. And then when I got to the 4th round, I took Trey Henderson. Then I took Garrett Wilson, which I just don't understand how he fell. And then when I got to my 6th round pick, instead of going this wide receiver spot where you're saying you just got to fill your spot, I went with my first bench running back, RJ Harvey. And then I got Travis Hunter. You make some of those decisions when you say to yourself, I'm counting ADP spots and I love Travis Hunter as much as I love anybody that I could take here. I'm going to take RJ Harvey. So there's not a world, in my world at least, where I'm not considering taking a bench player before I take one of my final starters. I don't care. I have so much confidence in Buka and Debo and Travis Hunter that I don't mind passing on a wide receiver that some people like. Even if it was T. Higgins, I want RJ Harvey over that so that I could go Travis Hunter in my wide receiver 2 spot. So don't ever think you got to fill spots. Draft best player available, but don't go drafting backup quarterbacks in a 1 QB league in the 3rd round when you took Josh Allen already or something. I'm not saying that, but you can't. When you're talking about your last wide receiver spot, your last flex spot, and you have a chance to get something that's going to completely flip the league upside down, like RJ Harvey being on my bench, like that makes me, I'm sick to my stomach. How am I going to make a decision week in and week out? Like I might look to make a trade. I don't know. Or I'm just going to say I have the best team in the league and I might struggle with starting one of my running backs each week, but don't think that you got to fill spots. There's a combination, good happy medium.
Yeah, no, I would say even like week 2, week 3, you're already swapping out Bucky Irving that you've got there on a start 8. It looks like for an RJ Harvey, because who the hell knows what's going to happen, in the next week or the first week or 2 of the season too, right? Because there's got to be injuries, there's got to be, start to.
Yeah, definitely. Mute yourself real quick, caller. All right. Anything else?
Might get first couple snaps for 1 and 2, and you're like, damn it, I drafted this guy at ADP the 4th round, and you're kind of screwed. But
yeah,
in this case, you've just gone heavy on running back and wide receiver. And like you're saying, the Ricky Pearsall or somebody in the 7th and 8th round, like that's still going to be a very valuable pick. So there's talent all over the board.
Yes, sir.
I was just curious on whether or not to really take a tight end or even a quarterback.
There's no right or wrong answer. Bowers is not a mistake there. You know, like if we really dug into it deeper, you might have me even saying like, well, you know, now that I look at who you're board and what you're telling me about your league mates, you're going to have to make that call. Is there a chance that you go Bowers, but for some reason you're still able to get Kyron and you're still able to get Harvey, and then I say, you know what? You're going to kick the can down the road so many times that you'll be fine if you go Bowers. I don't know. I just think in general, when I'm on the clock, if you're giving me this in a vacuum, I'm just going to say you're getting Bucky, you're getting Chase Brown. It's as simple as this, bro. You're drafting players that you rank higher. I know it seems complicated to people, but best player available isn't just going off the ADP. You're reaching. You're just taking what you believe to be the best player available. And if Chase Brown's better ranked than Bowers in your mind, then you can't take Bowers. You know, it really is that simple. I'm not drafting Bowers over Chase Brown or over, really even over Kyron, as I just proved in this draft. What?
I was going to say, like, around ADP, you got Bowers, you got McBride, and then you got Chase, and even Bucky, and then Kyron. So especially in my PPR,
you better not pass on Bucky Irving. I'll tell you that right now. Yeah. All right, bro, gotta go.
And I'm going to get on.
All right, call back. We got another one. All right, let me go over to Elijah, then over to Jazz, then over to Bruce, and then over to the 727 caller. But everybody mute, and I'm going to go to Elijah. Elijah, you're live.
Hey, Smitty, can you hear me?
Yeah, what's up?
Hey, so I'm in a 14-team league redraft, and I just got my pick. It's going to be number 2. 1.1, the guy said he's picking Saquon. So I want to go RB. I want to go either Bijan or Jameer. But I want to know what you think I should aim for round 2 if everyone's going kind of along the path of ADP.
I mean, my number 1 player is Bijan Robinson. If it was half PPR, what did you say it was? The scoring? Half PPR?
It's half PPR.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's one QB, 1 running back, 1 wide receiver, 2 flex.
Yeah, so wide receivers aren't even a priority in that. So your pick is Bijan, bro. Not even a hesitation. Why? Because, bro, if you wanted, you could start just 1 wide receiver. You know, so you want more. You want to draft more running backs. I'm not saying you pass on Lambs, and I'm not saying that, but Bijan Robinson in this situation is a home run for you, or Gibbs, either one. But this is an advantage point for you. You pass on Bijan Robinson, you're passing on a real strong chance at having an edge on everybody. And then when you get, because you could technically start just Travis Hunter if you wanted, or Deebo Samuel alone. You'd only need 1 wide receiver. So you should be grabbing, and I like Jamar Chase, I do, but give me Bijan Robinson all day in that format. Especially if it was full PPR, you could make an argument still, but at half PPR, no, I don't think so. And not to mention, this guy's catching 70 passes this year anyway. But he's going to get so much of that rushing production, you got to take him, in my opinion.
Yeah, okay, Bijan. Yeah,
I
was leaning towards Bijan over Jameer. I like both of them, but...
Love both of them. All right, bro. All right, call back later. That was Elijah. Now we're going over to Jazz, then over to Bruce. Jazz, you're live. And actually, Jazz, real quickly, this question says, Amon-Ra and Henry plus London are the only possibilities I will have at the 1.9. My 2.2 options are AJT, Mike, Reek, and Adams O because of the keeper values. Yeah, in that situation, I'm taking AJ Brown. I like Mike Evans a lot too, but I'm taking AJ Brown in that situation. Now, you might have left somebody off that you don't think I would take and be bold enough to take. Like, I know you said Chase Brown was, I think, your running back, but like someone like that, I would take over AJ Brown. So I don't know if you're leaving someone out, but AJ Brown, and then I would probably say, yeah, London for sure. And I don't hate Henry either, but London, Amon-Ra, Henry would be my choice of the order of the first. But if one of them were to fall, I'm taking that player with the one that you take, just in case, you think that's not going to fall that way, but it does. And you can take Amon-Ra and Henry, or you can take Amon-Ra and London would be most ideal. But if you just get one of them, it's that order. Keep one player, Terry McLaurin for a 6 or JMO in the 12th. JMO in the 12th. Because I think that they're going to be close enough that you get that 6th rounder now. So who's in the 6th round? Pretty good talent, bro. You might get a Mahomes. You might get a Travis Hunter. So Travis Hunter and JMO versus just keeping McLaurin is an easy call. All right, let me go over to Jazz. Jazz, you're live.
Hey, Smitty, what's going on, man? Hope all is well. So, me, man, best ball questions again. When I'm drafting that late third, going to the fourth, I got the full selection of all the HHH and associates. I see Kenneth Walker. I see Breece Hall. Another guy I've been trying to get a lot of exposure to is Chuba Hubbard. I know Hubbard's not in the HH associate gang, but in this part of the draft, what's your thought process? Who you like? What are your exposures like? Just looking for any general advice here.
I do very much. Mute yourself if you could. I'll draft a lot of Chuba at the right value. Chuba at the right value makes sense. I think that if you're taking him over guys like Kyren, or if you're, passing on a JD5 or something like that, I'm not quite as on board. I do like him a lot. I think he's so undervalued. He reminds me a lot of, trying to think of the right running back comp, in terms of like just not getting the respect he deserves. But he's just, he's super efficient. He's the focal point of this offense essentially. But do I have him in the same bucket as Hendy, Harvey, Hampton, the HHH and associates? No. Would I take him over Hunter? Yeah, because you have to. Hunter falls further than that. But Chuba's got top, I wouldn't say top 5, but I'd say top like 7 to 12, and it's kind of a big range, and it's not because of him as much as the other players. It's just about how many players he'll be delivering the 7 to 12 running back production that he's probably set and destined to produce. But will these players be unexpectedly amazing that slip in front of them? That's all it is. It's not about ever hating Chuba or thinking he goes down in value. It's just a matter of, does Harvey go so hard this year that he has just more points than Chuba, and Chuba didn't move? He just stayed right there. That's all it's really about. It's not about hating Chuba or disliking Chuba. I love Chuba Hubbard. And I do find myself when I go Chuba as my running back 2, I'm a lot more happy than if I go like Hero RB with Chuba late, late Hero. I don't really love him as my number 1 running back, but he certainly can be like a lower end running back 1. No doubt about it. No doubt about it.
Yeah, this is generally my 2nd or 3rd running back I'm taking at the time. So the guy I have the most shares of currently is Hampton. I'm trying to get more Hendy in there, but yeah, just trying to spread out that exposure. You know how it is.
Yeah, and Hampton's, amazing. Again, we have him on the HH and Associates board for a reason. People get so offended when I say Hendy's a better talent, but Hendy is a better talent. But this guy's situation's, gold. It's top 10. He's a top 10 RB. There's nothing wrong with that. Just because Hendy's got more ability and he's more important to his team, and he is. Hampton can be replaced. I'm not saying that he'll be replaced well. I'm not saying that the replacement will play better than him, but this is an offense that will, no matter what, they'll replace him. If Hendy were to go down, New England would sink. This is going to be their focal point, and this is a Jahmyr Gibbs. Hampton's a Marshawn Lynch, very good, but Marshawn Lynch was getting drafted at 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 over and over and over in fantasy, right? That's probably where Hampton can live. This guy, Hendy, has a shot at being a top 5 overall selection in fantasy football drafts year in and year out. There's a little bit more risk, but that's just the nature of the game we play. Hampton's probably safer. Hampton's floor is probably running back 12 and his ceiling's running back 6. Maybe 5. That's awesome. But there is a higher floor but a wider, more likely to finish in the 7 to 10 range, which is awesome. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, we're drafting him in freaking round 4. That's a huge return on investment. We love him. All right, anything else, bro?
No, man, appreciate the feedback. Thank you, Smitty.
Later, man. All right, Bruce, then over to the other 2 callers in a second, so everybody remain muted if you could. Bruce, you're live.
Hey, Smitty, I have a question on who do you think is a better value between Monty and Sharps?
Monty's safer because he's getting guaranteed work right now. Sharps, we don't even know what's going to happen. New regime, hard to say. I think Sharps is the better long-term play. So if you're drafting and you aren't needing to use this player, they're going straight to your bench, I probably would lean Sharps. But I do like Monty. They still want to use Monty a lot this year. He's a crafty running back 3. But Sharps is like a crafty running back 3-4, so he's a lesser value on the surface level initially, but he could be a low-end running back 1 if he gets in there. And Walker still could get traded.
Okay. Yeah, sent me a thing on the Instagram where John Gruden actually said, he said, fantasy football owners, get ready. He says, biggest sleepers are Harvey.
Yeah, Gruden's been watching the show. So Gruden's all over. Yeah, Gruden's been watching the show.
I started laughing when I seen that. I had to send it to you.
Yeah, it's good. All right, Bruce, you can mute yourself real quick. I'll be right back. Let me go over to the 727 caller. You're live, 727. What is your name?
Hey, my name is Zach Smitty. What's going on?
Dak?
Zach.
Oh, Zach. Zach, what can I do for you?
So I have a Dynasty, kind of a 2-part question. So I've got it's a 12-man league, full PPR, 1 QB, 2 flex.
Okay.
I have the 1.3. The guy that has Achan told me he would be willing to trade me Achan for the 1.3, depending on, I think he would want like my 3rd round as well. So contemplating if I should do that or just keep the 1.3. And then if I do keep the 1.3, I'm kind of torn between taking Hendy, Harvey, and Hunter.
So he's giving you, for the 1.3 straight up, he's giving you Achan. Okay, so let me just put it this way. If Achan were cut and thrown into a rookie draft, let me go to my Achan board for this, or go to this board here. So if Achan was cut, I'm just gonna map this out for you. If Achan was cut, he would be the 1.1 probably.
Okay, he would want like I have like Tank Bigsby on my bench too. He wants like a smaller piece thrown in as well, which I mean I don't.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is if you dropped Achan into a rookie only draft, he goes 1.1. So you're telling me you're giving the 1.3 for it's a very no brainer. And now I love Genty, I do, but Achan is like locked into the top 5 running backs, and I'm not saying Genty isn't as good, but this is a really, really good value, and you're not getting Genty. So I'm just saying for the argument of the 1.1, could somebody say, I'm still going Genty, and I go, I understand Genty, Achan, but Achan's easily equal to Genty in this regard. So the fact that you're telling me you're giving up the 1.3 where Genty's not even living, and I love Hendy, I love Hendy, but Achan's a top 4, running back. This is an easy.
Worry about Miami situation over the next couple of years at all?
Yeah, I mean, I do, but I still think that it'd be hard to pass this up. And I mean, if you're the one with the 1.3, like if it was the flip side, and I could get Hendy and something, that's where I start to compromise that and say, well, now if you give me a future first rounder, or you give me, Travis Hunter for my, Jacoby Myers, or you give up whatever. You figure out something like a late first rounder in 2028. You give me Hunter, and then I'll go ahead and make this swap. Whatever. That's where I think I could, I could get behind taking Hendy over Achane. But I think Achane, you just got to take the value where it is now, in my opinion. You wouldn't be crazy.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be an absolute madman, I guess, to take Hendy over Achane. But I don't think very many people could pass up on getting a top. I mean, Achane could be the number one running back this year, bro. And who's to say Miami doesn't still figure out a different quarterback avenue? Who's to say they don't trade for Shador or something? Who's to say they don't trade for Kirk Cousins? I think worrying too much about the future can make you miss winning championships and getting cash money. So as much as I love Hendy, you are playing for second place if you make this move, in my opinion, or don't make this move. Like, you are playing for second place. Now, you might be building for the future and it work out, but Achane is the now. Achane could be the number one running back this year, and you can't pass. In my opinion, you can't pass up his value. Not to mention, you could probably flip it for even more later if you wanted to.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I think isn't Achane like one of the best points per game when Tua is on the field too, anyways. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. If he does get kind of cold feet with the Achane trade, and I just keep the 1.3, then you recommend just rolling with Hendy?
Yeah, I love Hendy, bro. I'm fine with it. I wouldn't lose sleep over it just because I love Hendy so much.
Okay.
Yep.
Perfect. Yeah, I was torn between him and Trav. So okay.
I mean, look, I could go Hampton, but if I had to pick right now and I was on the clock in a rookie draft, now I draft Hampton over Hendy in redraft because I can, and I can get both of them. But if I'm on the clock and it's 1.2, and I don't need wide receiver so bad that Travis Hunter starts looking, good for that, and I'm sitting there, and I'm at 1.2, and Gentry's gone, I'm taking Hendy with a smile at 1.2, and I don't care if somebody thinks I could have got more. I probably considered trading down if I knew I would get Hendy at 3 and try and get some wiggle room. But if I couldn't make any sort of advantageous trade, I'm just pulling the trigger on Hendy at 1.2 without a hesitation in my mind. That's where people say, okay, Smitty, you talk about Hampton. Now you people say now you like Hendy more.
In a jam,
I've always liked Hendy more.
HHH and Associates.
Triple H and Associates. Locations on Earth and Jupiter.
It's just it's where you can get these guys. If push comes to shove, it is Hendy. Hendy is my pick. I just want them all. And Hampton is in redraft very advantageously placed, but also climbing. And then Hendy's even more advantageously placed, and he's climbing a little bit, but he's still so far down that they're miles apart. So you just can't take him. But in a vacuum, Hendy's my guy.
Okay. Yeah, that makes more sense when you compare it to the redraft, too. I think my running back core, I mean, it is pretty good. I have Chase Brown, Jacobs, and Chuba as my starters. So, yeah.
All right, bro. Call back if you got another one later.
Later.
Next caller, I believe, is 910. You're live, 910. What's your name? What's your name and where are you calling from?
So, Smitty, it's Brendan from Savannah, Georgia.
910? Brendan? Okay, Brendan, what can I do for you?
Yes, sir. Hey, I just got another Dynasty question for you, kind of following up the last caller. I think I know your answer a little bit, but I'd say 10-team, start 11, Superflex league. I would be sending away Ashton Genty, Jaden Blue, and a second. I'm kind of on the fence of the second or a third. See Bucky and Hendy.
Woo! I mean, yeah, bro. You're on the fence about sending a second. What are you talking about?
Yeah. I don't.
Come on, man.
I don't know.
Come on, man.
Yeah, I'm a homer. I'm a homer, dude.
You get stingy up in here. You're gonna blow this deal because you want to hold on to a second. You greedy person.
Okay. In that case, if
giving up a first.
if the other guy denies it, what would you add in
A
place
first.
of, like, the second or
A first.
A first?
Yeah, of course. Bro, what's making you think that? What's making you think that? What's making you think that a first rounder isn't required here? Because you've got Bucky and Genty.
Because I don't know.
Well, let's just say Bucky and Genty are out of this picture. Let's just call them a wash. You're trying to get Hendy for a blue and a second rounder. What are we doing here? Like, you should be giving up a first. Can I put it another way? I might even consider a lot more than that a first rounder. I give up a first. I give up 3 seconds if I had them. I give up. I don't even want to tell you what I give up at this point. So Genty a first. Yeah, if he denies that set, you're trying to squeeze him out of a second rounder. I mean, bro, this isn't even close.
Yeah, this would be the initial offer, so maybe I should start with something more.
So you haven't even practice. This is like a mock draft. Oh, he's not gonna. Yeah, he's gonna slam the door in your face, bro. You know what he's gonna tell? He's gonna come over to me, tell me that he got offered the worst trade ever, and I'm gonna hit this button.
You are offer sex. You are made offer sex.
He's one of the what?
He's one of the biggest Boise State fans I know, so that you never know.
Okay, then try it. Go lambaste him in a trade, and then and I'm not saying Blue isn't a great player or anything like that. It's just you're talking about Bucky and Hendy, bro. You're talking about Hendy being in a world arguable with Genty, and you're getting Bucky for a second in Blue. He's not going to do this. I didn't know this was practice. I didn't know this was like a mock draft, bro. You're not going to get this deal, but call back and let us know
I'll
if it.
First at him.
Call back and let us know if he gets it done. All right, later.
Appreciate it.
I don't really think he's going to do it with a first, but if he's a huge, I don't know, maybe he's such a fan he'll do it. Who knows? I mean, you could always try this second, but sometimes you make a too low of an offer, then when you up it, it doesn't quite get it done. But if you offered it initially with the first rounder, they might just be in that weird pull the trigger move. But if you start off with a second rounder and they're like, no, I'm not going to do that, and you go, okay, what about a first? You've done what's called that gradual incline where the first rounder doesn't look as good as it did because the second rounder is close to it, and you incrementally go up, and it doesn't have the appeal. It doesn't have the wow factor anymore. So it's like first round. So you upgraded it from a second to a first. I didn't like it as a second round pick. I didn't like the second round pick. And all you're going to do is you're going to up it. It doesn't do anything for me. If you offer the first, you might just pull the trigger. It's a happy medium. Bruce, any final thoughts?
My final thought is it was a great show, and if anyone does need to look up at trade offers, go on your website.
Thank you, Bruce. It's a good point. I got a trade calculator for those that don't. I should plug that more. I have a trade calculator. We could run things through the trade calculator too more. Go to thefantasyfootballshow.com. Trade calculator, bold predictions, all these rankings. It's 365. There's no draft kit. Like, oh, my rankings will be up in August. It's 24/7. All right, Bruce. We'll see you later.
Yep.
$20 hauler from BBQ doing it live.
Alert. Super chat alert.
Very happy to see New Age Outlaw. New Age pop back in the stream. He'd been gone for a couple weeks. Do you see a scenario where the Eagles cut Barkley's touches after last year? Effectively limiting his fantasy value, or will they feed him like the Niners will feed CMC until the wheels fall off? I don't see how either pays at ADP. I think that they probably feed him until he breaks. I think Sirianni, losing his OC, struggling, Sirianni's gonna do whatever it takes. But yeah, I don't see them limiting Barkley. I think they could be smarter. Maybe they're a little bit smarter, but I think that they ultimately don't hold back, and he ends up just getting hurt. I mean, Barkley's had 80 plus touches last year and 430 plus carries last year. And the carry curse that breaks running backs at such a high volume and rate is 371. 371 carry curse is what breaks RBs, and Barkley had 430 with an injury history and with one of the most aggressive running back styles that can lead to injury in the National Football League. So it's a really, really, really scary thing, in my opinion, for people to put their entire fantasy football hopes and dreams on Barkley this year when you can just sidestep into a little bit safer vehicle. And sometimes that's wide receiver. You know, if it was Lamb, for example, Lamb super safe, take Lamb, and then in round 2, grab your running back 1 instead of going Barkley and then forcing a wide receiver maybe that you don't absolutely love. Like Barkley and Ladd versus Lamb and Bucky, I'm taking Lamb and Bucky all day long. So that's just the way I draft. I feel like this is much safer, but injury can actually strike anybody. We know that, and people in my chat a lot of times will come in and go, "You banking on injury? Anybody can get hurt." Like someone was trying to argue with me the other day that Christian McCaffrey's not getting injured. It's ridiculous to even talk about it because anybody can get hurt. Like what a very one-dimensional way to look at something. Of course you can predict injury to a degree. Not exactly or 100% of the time, but the history of a player is the best determination of whether they're going to get injured. Their injury history is the only determination that is the most, factual. Their style of play, their offense. You play on the Niners, in the Niners system alone gives you probably 2 times likelihood of getting injured. If you're a running back on the Niners roster or a wide receiver, you have a significantly higher injury history or injury risk and injury history. Look at the Niners wide receiver room right now. They're all injured. They're bringing in camp bodies because they don't have enough wide receivers to actually run routes during practice. Look at the Niners running back room. Jordan James, you got him out. You got Garendo hurt right now. The whole running back room is littered with injuries. So there's a lot of reasons why players can be injury prone. Thank you, BBQ. And you're right, I'm not drafting Barkley or CMC really at all this year. And this comes from a channel that told everyone to draft Barkley. Barkley was a 2nd round pick last year. It's easy to forget that Barkley wasn't an easy call last year. Barkley was a 2nd round player that we said would win leagues. He was a Mars man. And it's very, very, memories are very 2020. People are like, oh, it's very clear. Very, very clear that Barkley was going to be a top 5. No, it wasn't. He was a 2nd round pick. People questioned Barkley. They questioned that he would stay healthy. They questioned whether it would be a good move. They didn't know if Philly would run the ball well. They weren't sure how it was going to look. It's very easy now to reflect on it, but Barkley was a league winner that this channel called. So anybody saying this is nonsense, I can't believe you're saying this about Barkley, kind of have latitude to speak about it because we did call it and had him as one of the bigger bold predictions of the year. I'm not going near Barkley at cost of entry. If Barkley were to fall, which he won't, I'd probably get back in because of the upside he brings per start. CMC, I'm not going to come anywhere near a point where I draft him because he's climbed into the 7, 6, 5 overall. I see him go 5 overall now at times. CMC in the first round's a disaster waiting to happen. And CMC in round 2, I wouldn't touch. So there's no world where CMC falls to me where I'm going to take him. I'm just not. There's no scenario. There's no even line in the sand conversation because Christian McCaffrey will never fall to a place where I would take him. Travis, what else you got?
Yeah, how do you feel about Ramondre as a tough? I know you mentioned how he looks good, and I know he got banged up. He's a little banged up right now, but he's not supposed to be anything serious. Do you think he serves as a good cup, or do you think it's more of he's just going to be better in the role that he's going to be in this year alongside Indy like he was before, where he's getting 150 carries? He's not asked to be that full-time, quote-unquote, bell cow role. I think I can't really decide which it is.
I think this comes down to roster construction, to be honest. So, like, let's say you have Jean. Let's say you ended up getting Let me merge this call in real quickly. Mo, just mute yourself real quickly. I'll be right with you, Mo. Just mute real quick. Let's say you go Bajan. Let's say you go Hendy. Let's say you have a player like, let's call it Bigsby. And let's say you have 2 more running back spots. So on underdog, this is kind of that scenario where you have 5 running back spots. Essentially, you go 6 and you're bleeding one of the positions out. There's only 2 required running back spots in best ball on underdog. And again, if you guys want to draft on underdog, promo code Smitty, the link's being dropped in the live chat right now. The link's pinned in the live chat as well. And if you want to draft with us, we draft almost every single midnight Eastern. So smash that link. But when you get to in a scenario where you're doing this, right? You got 3 RBs. It's kind of hard to house a running back like Stevenson when you can just grab a Krosky Merritt, so JCM, and then maybe even here you're getting like a Jaden Blue. Like these are all, or Charbonnet somewhere. These are all better players to take than a Ramondre Stevenson, to cuff to Hendy. But if you're in a Dynasty league, you're in a 20-man roster league, then all of a sudden you have like spots where you don't even know what to do with them. Then Stevenson 100% is a great cuff. So it just comes down to roster build. There's no room to take a Ramondre when you can get a league standalone league winner option and have like 3 of those guys ready to fire off and get you trade value. And if Bigsby becomes the next, elite player, and all of a sudden you can trade him for a wide receiver 2, versus, Stevenson will never probably do that for you. That you got to almost think like that. So it's kind of a situational question. There's nothing wrong with Hendy cuffed to Stevenson, but it has to be in a crazy big league environment, where you have lots of rosters.
You have to be able to either have the bench or have it be a deep league. Yeah.
I
don't mind him at that. But I really am not sure though. Like, part of me thinks he may be better served as the, call it what you want, secondary role, I guess.
Monty.
Still getting,
Well, if I'm saying Hendy's Gibbs, then, Stevenson can be Monty. Yeah.
Right. Something like that, as opposed to just being the only guy.
Yeah, he could have.
He's always looked great in that role. Last year, it was so bad, it's hard to judge too. He had the fumbling problem, which is, on him, but there was nothing else on that team. So
yeah. Could he have like 25 receptions for, I'll call it like 120, 750 rushing, 7 TDs, like, and be flex worthy in bye week, crunches for somebody that doesn't even have Hendy? Maybe. Yeah, I think this is potentially a Monty situation, maybe a little bit, watered down version.
People underestimate his receiving ability too. Was it 2022? He had 69 receptions, and he always has 30 or 40 receptions in that range. He can catch it.
Yeah. All right, let me go over to this phone caller here real quickly. Is it Ben? Ben?
Yeah, Benel.
What's up, Benel? What can I do for you, pal?
So, Smitty, we talked about this before. I have that, remember I told you about the commissioner changing up things regarding who's on the starting lineup?
No.
So, this is a while ago anyway.
Yeah.
This is a 10 team full PPR redraft, 1 QB league, but he's adding an extra wide receiver to the starting lineup. So it's 1 QB, 2 running backs, 2 wide receiver, 1 flex, 1 tight end. So would you still, you told me to draft QB first or no? This is a while ago that you told me.
In a 1 QB?
Yeah.
Why would I tell you to draft QB first and 1 QB?
This is a while ago though.
No, I didn't.
I think I got confused.
Yeah, you got confused.
No,
I never tell you to draft
I got confused,
quarterback. Okay. So you must have told me.
Yeah. So I got confused the last time I called you. So
okay.
Anyway,
clear that
would
up.
you still, because it's a three wide receivers for the starting lineup? Would you go? I'm been mocking because my draft is not till September 2nd, which is
all right. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath, Benel. Let's back up. What's your question?
Would you go wide receiver first 2 rounds, or would you go? I'm thinking go for RB because my league wants they're kind of.
So
on
you're
the
thinking
RB
we
side,
let's put a blindfold on. Let's pull up the app and let's sort by running back, and then let's just start poking the button. Let's just go. Let's decide to go RB, or let's decide to go wide receiver. Let me merge this call. Hold on, Beto. Mute yourself real quick, Mo. Again, I'll be right with you. You're asking me, should we put a blindfold on and take wide receivers to smash the button, or take running backs? Is that what you're asking? Bro, you got to draft. You're going to call me up in a week or two and go, Smitty, remember when you told me to draft only wide receivers? Look, my advice is always the same. Best player available.
Best player available.
You know, don't walk in, my guy, with a blueprint and saying, we're doing RB no matter what the board gives us. You got to take what the board gives you. You have to. Now, my first question would be, you said this is a 10 or a 12-man, 1 QB league?
10.
10.
10.
You're probably
Redraft,
better
1
off.
QB league.
You're probably, in general, better off going RB. Probably.
Okay.
If you this is what you need me to say. You need to hear me say something. Probably. That means, Benel, you need to keep an open mind as to what the board gives you. But this is traditionally in a 10-man league the more advantageous thing. And you said it was 2 wide receiver requirement, or 3?
3.
3. Okay. So that makes it a little bit more, important to keep wide receiver, be mindful of it, because if they start flying off the board, then you might want to start looking at best player available being wide receiver. But I do think that in 10-man, you've got such an opportunity for Garrett Wilson to fall a whole extra round by the time he goes off the board. So instead of going in 3, he's going in 4. MHJ's going in 4. Hunter's going in 6. Debo's going in 6 or 7. Hunter might go in 7 or 8. And so you got Rice might go in 5. So you got an opportunity to go RB. Could consider going RB again, and then going with Garrett Wilson, Rashee Rice, Travis Hunter as your receiving crew. So you got to go with what the board gives you. I can't really give you a set blueprint. But the running backs are more important in 10-man leagues than they are in 12-man leagues, because you've got so many wide receivers that will be available in your 3rd, 4th, and 5th rounds like you wouldn't in a 12-man league. But the running backs are gone.
Would you go later round QB than not elite QB though? Maybe like the 3 or 4.
What? Say that again.
QB, like elite QB. Would you go instead of going 8 round instead of going the 3rd or 4th round QB?
You just gotta go. You gotta go QB when it's right. The thing is, have you seen my 10-man league that I'm lambasting? We're not even. I gotta maybe call some authorities and see if they can check up on some of these league mates, because I don't know how this team doesn't make sense. Someone's passed out. There's at least 3 people that don't have a pulse right now in my league. I don't know how I got this, but bro, I haven't drafted a quarterback yet, and I'm not necessarily going to this next pick, because I'm still going to get Bo Nix, or Penix Jr. is going to be there, or I could get Fields and one of these guys. Kyler is going to be there. In a 10-man league, there's so much opportunity if going against traffic makes sense. Sometimes drafting a quarterback early makes sense because it's kind of that edge and advantage point. But where I would suggest you not take a quarterback early in a 10-man is if everybody's taking them way too early. Let them do it. Then you get your edge at those other skill positions like I did. Even in a 10-man league, I shouldn't have this team. I should not have Bijan, Bucky, Garrett Wilson, Travis Hunter, Kyron Williams, Trey Henderson, and RJ Harvey. I shouldn't have that in a 10-man league. The reason I do is everyone was grabbing quarterbacks in rounds 2 and 3. And I just sat back. It's okay to draft them early. It gives you an advantage, but it's not okay to jump in and follow the leader to the abyss while you can just sit there and go, 4 quarterbacks go around 2, 3. 5 of them go, I'm getting gold and I'm cleaning up. And if I put Bo Nix into my lineup later, I don't even feel like I miss a beat anyway.
Yeah, got it.
All right, we'll see you later, bro. Benel,
right.
don't sweat
All
it.
right, thanks, Smitty.
All right, we'll see you next time. And we'll see him when he calls me next week and says, remember when you told me to only draft kickers in the 1st round? I can't believe the balls on this guy. Smitty, you told me in a 1 QB, I'm just telling you. Last time we talked, you still feeling this way? You told me in a 1 QB to go quarterback first. like that would ever come out of my mouth. Oh, Ben. Anyway, Mo from Cali, you're live. I appreciate it, Benno. I'm not mad at you.
Thanks. What's up, Smitty? How you doing, man?
What's up, my boy?
Yeah, I got the 6th pick in my PPR league. I'm hoping Lamb falls to me, but I know you're not big on Saquon and JJ this year. But let's say someone takes Lamb or Gibbs before that 6th pick. Who would you take outside of that?
Hold on, Ben. Is this you? Ben says mahalo. Is that you, Ben, from the phone line? Because I said Benel, but Benzel is different. It says Benel, so I don't know if that's you or Ben. If you're just coincidentally saying that at the same time. But anyways, Ben, let me know if that was you on the phone line. As for 1.6, okay, say it again. Barkley, JJ. Oh, it is Ben. Ben, appreciate you. Ben super chats. He's an awesome guy. Ben, I didn't mean, I wasn't making fun of you. I was just, well, I kind of was making fun of the situation. Appreciate you. All right, go ahead, bro, real quickly. 1.6, Barkley, JJ. Not a fan of Barkley or JJ here right now in 2025. But what is your question? What other player would I take?
Yeah, so if Lamb is gone and Gibbs are gone, who else would you take?
I mean, it's a troublesome situation because you can't deny JJ if he's healthy, he's amazing. You can't deny that Barkley, if he stays healthy, is totally worth this 1.6. Genty, people are scared of Genty, and they shouldn't be. I think Genty is a very safe pick. 3 carries when his team isn't even fully assembled on the field and his quarterback's not even on the field during one of those carries. It's ridiculous to even judge Genty. It's so weird that 3 carries people have gone from he's a top 5 overall player as a rookie. You'll see 3 carries and about 1/3 of those Genty hypers jumped off the train headfirst. Just leaped off into the cactuses that are going by at 40 miles an hour on the train. They didn't even look. They just leaped off. And I don't understand it. So Genty is probably safer. Now, does Barkley have more upside than Genty? Probably, I think. But he comes with a lot of risk. And you can say even through a month of football, Barkley's the running back, 2 through 1 month of football. A lot of Barkley believers will be in the chat going, see, how do you feel now? Do you feel bad about yourself? No one's going to be able to do any of that because what matters is who's going to be there at the end of the year as well. Like it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. So it doesn't matter. He'll probably be better, I would say, Barkley than almost all running backs through a month of football. But it's not something that you can measure right away. But I would say this, bro. I would say, how many leagues do you do?
I do 2. So I have another one where I have a 12, and I'm targeting Achan and Genty in that one.
I don't mind if you've got at least 2 leagues if you say I'm going to roll the dice with Barkley in one of them. I don't mind it. It's not something I'm going to do personally. I'm just, the point of can you trade Barkley later? You can do that. You could just draft him, keep an open mind, keep vigilant, try and see if you can, get return on your investment that makes, sense and trade Barkley later. I don't mind that approach. I think that if you were in this situation or JJ, and JJ's hamstring may or may not be an issue, it's the other hamstring. I would say in that situation, if you're going to get Genty in the other league, not to put all your eggs in one basket, I would say go JJ or Barkley and keep an open mind to make a trade. Keep an open mind to make a trade if a trade presents itself, and be active in trying to make a trade just because they both have a little bit of risk of finishing the year. I worry about Barkley more than I worry about JJ, to be honest. But I don't mind you drafting these guys and then just keep vigilant to potentially sell high and get more than you ever could have by taking the other player. That's what I'd say. I'm fine with one. I'm fine with one league doing this.
Sounds good, man. Appreciate it.
Later.
Appreciate your hard work.
Yeah. And I wouldn't necessarily have said that if, let's say, he had one league. But the fact that he might have Genty in the other league, I don't mind this. I don't mind. It's hard to say don't draft JJ or Barkley. It just is. It's not. They're not busts. They're not total avoids. It's just what is your
just know the risk.
Yeah, what's the landscape look like? Can you trade in this league? If you draft Barkley or JJ in a league where no one trades or you can't trade, then I don't think that's smart. I think if you could draft Barkley and JJ in a league where people are actively trading, or at least half of them are, and you can trade, then and you're at the 1.6, 1.7, and you're like, I don't know what to do, I don't mind it. But I also don't mind someone saying, screw it, I'm going BTJ. I don't mind that at all. I think you could go 100 different ways. There's nothing wrong. BTJ was wide receiver 4 last year. Let's remember that. There's nothing wrong with taking him at 6 overall. But I also think if you're a good active trader, this isn't a bad idea to just say, So you'll hear a lot of that over the next handful of weeks as people are drafting, just to prepare all of you. When people say, who should I go at 1.7? It's going to be like, well, if you can trade, I don't mind JJ or Barkley, but make sure you can trade. 415, what's your name and where are you calling from, 415?
Kevin, San Francisco.
Who?
I'm a lifer.
Who from San Francisco? Kevin. What's up, Kevin?
Kevin. Hey, what's up? I'm a lifer.
What's up? What's up, my man? Kevin,
Hey,
he's talking about the lifetime membership on thefantasyfootballshow.com. If anybody doesn't want to check it out now, check it out later or whatever, the link's in the description of every video, or you just go to thefantasyfootballshow.com. Pretty easy, right? youtube.com/thefantasyfootballshow, thefantasyfootballshow.com, Instagram, I'm at thefantasyfootballshow. People are funny. They're like, how do I get your content? Where's it at? Well, it's kind of all the same. pretty easy to find it, but yeah, he's a lifetime member. What's up, Kevin?
Where are you taking Arroyo now?
As late as I can, which is kind of like the very end of the draft. There's been a little bit of a setback in his buzz. Like, is he going to start? Is he not? He got run with the ones. Now he's not. Now he is. Now he's not. I think he's somebody that will rise up eventually. He reminds me of like a Antonio Gates type of player, when a Gates wasn't known yet. I'm not saying he becomes Gates. I'm just saying there's some similarities to me in terms of nobody seeing this guy really coming. And he's a big boy, just a big boy. And the good news is that he's growing up with Milroe. They're throwing together. They're both, rookies. They're both rising up together. And Arroyo and Milroe are going to have a special bond. And when Milroe rises up, Arroyo's going to rise up with him, I think. So it might be a patient game. I think if you go into week 1 as your starter, you might get disappointed. You might get 1 catch or 0 catches. This could be a guy that's cut on waivers and he's on waiver wire week 4 show, week 3 show, week 7 show. Be vigilant, be patient, be loose, be liquid. Don't expect the world right away. Dynasty gem.
Reminds me a little of Julius Thomas, too. Remember him?
Yeah.
Broncos. He only had a couple good years. About the same size.
Okay, thanks on that. One last question, I'll let you go. Vidal, is Vidal you think he's going to be the cup in San Diego?
It's not San Diego. It's not San Diego. It's the LA Chargers. But hold on, let me merge this call real quickly. It's like Ron, he can't let go of the San Diego. Right now, Vidal is the backup because Najee's not ready. But once Najee's ready, Najee steps right into the backup role. I mean, right in. But and he's jogging already a little bit, so it's not like we're still sitting in total unknown territory for Najee. But my guess is Najee lost some vision, if I had to guess. And I'm totally speculating. I think Najee's going to be the backup without question for as many games as he can stay on the field. He's never missed a game. So maybe even with one lens, knocked out, he's still going to go out there. But Vidal's good.
Sanders,
but
too.
You what?
Raheem Sanders, is that his name? The rookie. He's been looking pretty good too. And I saw something where the Chargers said that RB3 spot is up for grabs right now.
Yeah.
So Vidal isn't guaranteed that spot. I like him though.
I would guess Vidal gets it, but he will be the 3. But right now he's the 2. Like if they needed an RB to go in there, I think Vidal would be the guy. All right, anything else, Kevin?
That's it, Smith. Thank you.
All right, appreciate you, bro. Later.
Late.
Last call, 815. Chad, what's up? You're live.
Yeah, hey, Smitty.
What's up, bro?
I just did a Dynasty. I was in the 8th spot. 12-man Superflex. I got Gibbs at 8. Came back with Lamb, McBride, Bucky in the 4th.
Wait a minute. Well, how many people are in this league?
12.
You got Gibbs and then Lamb?
Yep.
Okay. And who'd you
Not
get?
really sure how.
Who'd you get in the 3rd round? Barkley.
McBride,
Okay.
Bucky in the 4th.
No, you didn't, bro. What? Is this a mock draft? Come on, man.
No, but my question is,
Wasting my marker.
I have Dak. Should I drop Dak to pick up Milton in a Dynasty Superflex?
What kind of call is this, Chad? Come on, man. Come on, but this call has Bucky in the 4th round, Lamb in the 2nd round. I mean, you wasting our time here. Like, first of all, I've never heard of that scenario in my life. What kind of league would allow you to get Lamb in the 2nd, Bucky in the 4th round, and then the second part, you're not cutting Dak Prescott a starter you're cuffing Milton to him. But you're not cutting Dak Prescott a starter for a guy that's not in there yet, and you're on a speculation of sorts. That's he's a great talent. But what's going on here, man? Are you trolling me?
No, I'm not trolling you. Looking at my team, I have Herbert and I have McCarthy, and I don't know if I should keep Prescott or
Yeah, you should. Yeah, he's your best quarterback. He's your best quarterback, bro. The worst thing in the world you could do is cut your starting quarterback after you just went ahead and lamb. Imagine losing with that team. You go out cutting Dak Prescott, you're going to lose with the best team I've ever seen.
All right.
Yeah. Now, cuff Milton. Bro, I'm only just baffled. I'm not mad at you or anything, but like, I don't know. Your voice sounds authentic. You sound like you're an honest guy. So this is hard for me to digest that you actually ran into 11 other human beings on this earth that know so little about football that you convinced them to. Is this even a money league, or is this one of those free family leagues where they don't even?
No, it's a money league.
Jeez, bro. Is there any openings? Can I
Not
get?
this year.
I don't ever. People ask me to join their league like every hour. Like, I'm never going to do that because I don't have time. It's not that I don't want to. But this one I might make an exception. So if you ever have an opening, you please let me know. Okay?
I will.
All right. Thank you, Chad.
The first one on the list.
I appreciate you. Later.
Thanks, Smitty.
Hope it's like a grand buy-in. Jeez, bro. I have a question. The worst part is he drafted like a maestro. And then his follow-up question was like, he's in 3rd grade. Do I cut Dak Prescott? Chad, make sure you get Milton for sure.
Better QB, though. Unless everyone took only QB, I would have thought he had a better QB.
I wonder if it's a super flex. Did he say that?
I don't.
I bet he doesn't.
I don't know if he said.
Only explanation that he didn't know it was a super flex, or he didn't tell us it was a super flex, and he didn't go quarterback. That's the only explanation. That has to be it. There's no way Lamb goes in round 2. There's zero chance. That was a super flex.
Oh.
Chad, we're right.
Someone said he said super.
Did he?
Yeah, someone said Superflex.
I didn't hear him.
I missed it.
I didn't. Yeah, that's on me. Okay. Especially don't cut Dak on a Superflex though. If he said, Chad, if you said Superflex, I didn't hear you. I'm sorry. He was a little bit hard to understand and hear.
That definitely changes things.
Yeah, definitely think that could be possible, but he didn't even like defend that it was a Superflex, so I wasn't. That's why I didn't think it was. Who should I target in my action draft? Auction draft and PPR. I mean, it's a little vague, Tron Force. You know, I would say the best way to go about auction is to grab. Yeah, poor guy. He said Superflex. I didn't hear him say Superflex. Did anybody else hear it other than the one person that said they heard it? Because I didn't hear it. Travis didn't hear it. Maybe he said it, but on my phone, sometimes the phone's clear to you guys and it breaks up as I'm hard to explain how my process works, but sometimes it'll be very crackled and it cuts in and out as I getting callers on it, but you guys will hear it. Someone said no. Someone said no. He didn't say Superflex.
I go back and find out.
Chad, is it Superflex? He said it twice. It says top MF. Man, I didn't hear him. I should have known though. Freezy says he didn't hear Superflex. He's never calling again. No, I think he'll call again. Because he just was told his team is the best team ever assembled. So the guy just invented the Infinity Stones and put them on his own hand when he called in, and so you bet your bottom dollar he's calling it again. Why would you not to get that standing ovation? I thought I heard it. I don't know. We're all over the map. I don't know. Maybe he did. If you said Superflex, Chat, I'm sorry I didn't hear it because my phone line's whack, and sometimes I overlook it when you say it. I guess I need to start writing it down. When someone says Superflex, I need to write SF. Boom. That way it's right in front of me. I don't forget. Who should I target my auction draft?
I just went back. He said something Dynasty draft. And then he paused. And then he said 12-man. And then he paused. And then he said Superflex. So it was kind of delivered separately. So
did it sound like was I talking and didn't hear him or something? I don't know. Or maybe it just did.
You were getting ready. You were getting ready to write his team down. So.
Okay. Sorry, my boy, Chad. It makes sense then. I mean, Chad punted quarterback though, and he still got Dak and Herbert. You did fine, Chad. You built one of the best Superflex 12-man teams that I think anybody's ever called with the last year. So Chad to the moon. But just don't cut Dak Prescott in a Superflex. Good Lord. Like, talk about waiting and then almost punting it all away. Unbelievable. Okay, thank you, Chad. Appreciate you. Who you're grabbing in auction will be all the sleepers we talk about, bro. All the time. You're not grabbing the guys like Barkley that cost, arm and a leg. Probably not even grabbing Bijan or Gibbs. You're grabbing the guys, the HHH and Associates, the
Jam.
The players
HHH and Associates.
Are values.
Triple H and Associates.
Hendy, Harvey, Hampton, Kyron, Breece Hall, Hunter, Debo, Mahomes, Burrow, Hampton, I said already. All these players, that even Chase Brown maybe, but he might be a premium. But that's how you're getting the best bang for your buck. It's the same concept as identifying sleepers. And then when you identify the sleepers, they're undervalued, so therefore they'll cost less. That's how you dominate an auction draft. So hopefully that helps you. Maya Lave in a 1.6 for Worthy in a 1.4. Only 3.3. Why? Yeah, I'm confused here. Olave is a lot lesser than Worthy, so you're getting the pick upgrade. Oh, 9 too. So 1 point. Yeah, give me 1.4. 1.9 is nice. Like, I could regret pretending and brushing that off. Like, oh, the 9. Yeah, you're getting the 1.4. Like, what if that's Igbuka? I could easily see myself in a draft going, wow, 1.9 is a lot better than I thought it would be. But I'm still taking Worthy in 1.4 and running away. It's no matter what, you're crushing that trade, bro. Now, if 1.6 ended up being Harvey and then you got Igbuka, there is a world where I could, like I said, in retrospect, I could be like, damn. But just because it could be Harvey and Igbuka, let's say, if it was a grandma league, versus Worthy and maybe Harvey anyway, or Hendy or whatever. So it could end up washing, but I'm still taking Worthy and Hendy all day long, regardless of what could be, because you don't know, it might not be. What if Igbuka's gone? Who should I target in my auction draft? Oh, I just did that one. The same thing I just said. You're doing openings for Superflex or Garrett Wilson League this week. Stand down for the info, Jay. It'll all. I don't know exactly when I'm doing it, but yeah, this week we might start throwing that information out. So hang tight. 14-man PPR, 14th pick. My keeper is Bucky, R9 or K9 or a running back 9. Wait, what is it going on here? Round 9.
Round 9.
Okay. My brain's fried from this morning. I'm on little sleep. Barkey, round 9 or BTJ round 6. There we go. I would say Bucky round 9. I love BTJ in round 6 too, but if I'm taking one, I'm taking Bucky. That's amazing value. Let's see here. God, I can't even think anymore. My brain is fried. I was up for those that don't know, I've been up pretty much all day. I've slept for like 2 or 3 hours, but 5 a.m. freaking James Cook contract was not what I wanted to do at 5 a.m. Hey, Smitty, I got 1.12. I want to take Genty if he falls, and then Achane in the second round. If Genty, Achane, Puka, Neighbors are all there, what 2 would you take? I would take Genty and Achane. And I would take Genty and Bucky, or Achane and Bucky before I take Puka and Neighbors as well. So chew on that. And that's not because I don't love Neighbors. Neighbors is the next Jamar Chase. It's just his toe. It's his shoulder. It's his toe. It's, hospital ball city. There's just a lot of concerns for me right now. And when this team is losing and has no playoff hopes, what happens to their star wide receiver that they want to get this surgery kicked off earlier versus later? Why would you wait until March to have toe surgery and jeopardize your 2026 season when you could just do it early when you have no playoff shot? Like, just answer that question. And people don't want that to be the case, but that's why you got to think smart, even about a guy that I think is maybe the number 1 wide receiver in the league. Did I get my omelet? I haven't eaten. I haven't eaten a single thing. I haven't had a breadcrumb today. You would think I would have went and ate, but I slept for 2 hours. Then I ended up just having to do a bunch of other things because it's content season. So I have yet to eat, surprisingly. So I'm withering away here. Right, my stomach is eating itself. Travis, anything else? I might be back tonight. I usually go live at midnight Eastern every single night practically, but this might be a night, and Wednesdays kind of are where I don't. So play it by ear. I could do some sort of just like random live stream though. I'm not sure. So hang tight for that information. But I'm live these times at midnight, Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. live whenever news breaks, like this morning. Go ahead, Travis.
Just the last thing was Buddy in the chat. He was just asking, in terms of when you say best player available, what exactly do you mean by that in the sense of like, what if you think best player available is, 10 or 12 spots away? So I think he just was looking for a little clarity on it.
It's a great question. It's not ADP. Someone says, oh, best player available, so the highest ranked player? No, that's auto drafting. Best player available is complex. And the thing about best player available is it can be wrong because you're wrong, or I'm wrong or whatever. It's your assessment. Your assessment has to be right for best player available to work, but that's playing fantasy football. That is fantasy football. So at the end of the day, what best player available truly means is you are taking the best, highest upside player, in your opinion, pitted against risk and all that, but then that's your assessment. Who is the safest player with the most upside, the most bang for the buck right here? When you look at Kyron at the 3-1, he can be top 5 overall. So Kyron is probably the best player available. You're sitting there in round 3.2 and you need a receiver and you're like, well, Higgins is there. I'll just take T. I mean, he's pretty good. That's not taking best player available. That's you taking a position, not a player. That's as simple as the way I can put it. Now, best player available, taking Hendy at 3.2 when he falls into the 5th round is not best player available. You're taking a man I think is going to be a monster, but you're not taking value, and so you're literally punting your opportunity to get Hendy in the 4th round. And take him a little bit early in the 4th round. So best player available doesn't, even if Hendy ends up being a top 5 running back, Hendy in the 3rd round is not the best player available. He's the best player available in the 4th round. So it really just comes down to about 1,000 different things of ways that you're evaluating. And if you already take a quarterback all of a sudden reshuffles is not the best player available for you. Doesn't matter if Burrow's there. If you got JD5 already and it's a 1 QB non-best ball, you can't go Burrow in round 5. You're punting your season. In best ball, you can, because you can do some sort of bully QB. Bruce, I'm sorry. The phone lines are closed. I got to go. A call in tonight if I do go live. Travis, anything else?
Oh, that's all. I'll talk to you later. Thanks.
All right, later. Appreciate you, Travis. All right, guys. Last super chat here from Tig. He says, I'm in a 1.10 12-man PPR. Do you take BTJ or Genty? And with a second pick, Bucky or Achane? I might go Bucky Achane over BT. Or I could go Genty, Bucky, Genty, Achane, Bucky, Achane, Genty. I could go BTJ. I'm fine with that. But I'm very much also a running back guy when you're getting the Bucky and Achane. Like, Bucky and Achane is pretty damn good. Genty and Achane, Genty and Bucky, love it. BTJ. If you're a balanced guy and you just hate not going balanced, then I guess I would say BTJ. And then if I had to pick, I would say probably Achane, then Bucky, or either one. I love Bucky and Achane about the same. But if this was me, I'm oftentimes, especially in home leagues, and it's not best ball because receivers will fall a little bit more, I personally would go Bucky Achane or Bucky Genty or Achane Genty. I could go any combination, but I am probably going double RB there if that's a non-best ball. That's just me. I'll see you all later. Appreciate all of you. Make sure you get on over to my Patreon. That link is being dropped in the live chat. It's in the description of every video. Here is the link to the Patreon. Thank you, Silver. Appreciate you, Silver Rapture. This is also my content site right here, thefantasyfootballshow.com. That link is in the description as well, but I'll drop the link right here if you want rankings, bold predictions, 24/7, bold rankings and predictions. And then, of course, we're going to be drafting on Underdog every single night practically. Wednesday, sometimes I don't. Again, I might not tonight. I'm not sure yet. Depends how I feel. But there's the link right there. Underdog will match your first deposit 50% all the way up to $1,000. But the minimum is only $10. I just dropped the link. It's pinned in the live chat. Please sign up on Underdog now so you're not scrambling to get in, because the way we do it is I go live and then I say pull up the Underdog app, go into this draft called Puppy 3 and wait. And there's a green button that says enter. We're going to wait. We all go 1, 2, 3. We click it together. And I just want to make sure you're signed up and not scrambling. So click that link I just dropped. I'll drop it one more time in the live chat. There it is. Click that link now. Sign up. Get ready. And that way you'll be able to draft with us. I'll see you all later. Appreciate you. On that note, BTJ to the moon too. I don't want that question to make people think I don't love BTJ. If you want to go wide receiver, running back, wide receiver, BTJ is one of the best to do it at the bottom of round 1, top of 2.
He's BTJ. What you gonna do? He's BTJ. He's gonna put it on you. He's BTJ. Gonna have a good game. He's BTJ. Your mama screams his name. BTJ is going to put it on you. There's not a single thing that you can do. BTJ is going to put it on you. There's not a single thing that you can do.
Live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern every single Monday through Friday. That's what this show is. Also, additionally, live whenever big news breaks, like we were this morning at 5 a.m. before anybody else on the James Cook extension. And then live most every single midnight Eastern drafting with you on Underdog. That link is in the description. I'll drop it one more time. Here it is. Make sure you sign up now so that you're ready to draft with us. That link has just been dropped. It's in the description of every video if you do need it later, but I recommend you click it now. See you all maybe tonight, but definitely several times tomorrow. Appreciate you all. Thanks for my super chatters. You guys rock. Deuce.